All right. So the current scene is we are walking back to Loomis. You guys just having that extremely difficult combat. Gwen is carrying Leo back to school because he was very injured and went down. I think I would like to say that at least part way through, Leo, you kind of realize that you're like, I'm very hurt, but I can definitely walk, and it's going to strain Gwen to carry you the entire way and track y'all's way back to campus. So we'll say that at some point you're like, I appreciate you so much, and then you hop off and walk with the rest of the group. Definitely injured, but okay. Like you're gonna need to go to the nurse. You're gonna need to get healed, but you're
Leo.
Fine. And
me and Leo were just hands holding, like we're gonna walk together.
I'm about that.
Yeah, we're gonna wobble together.
That newfound, connection from almost dying together for sure.
Once you take,
it's a bomb now.
Once you take a pool full of acid to the face, you're best friends for life.
That's so true.
Precisely.
That's so true.
Yeah, it happened to me and my best friend in college once.
Nice. What?
I was a chemistry major for like 2 weeks. Not after the incident.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going. Yeah, you guys make your way back to the school. It's about a 3-hour trip, but when we get back, I'm assuming first order of business for at least 2 of you is to go to the nurse and get healed up, if not some others.
Don't worry, I'll take Leo to the nurse.
Thanks, Marcel.
I'm just gonna follow quietly after them as well.
Cool. Who all is going? Like, who all needs healed?
Who all needs heal?
I'm gone. I'm not there anymore.
Kieran, gone. Dips out from the group. Athera, Gwen, how are you guys? You looking good on hit points, or do you want to go to the nurse with them?
I'll just go to the nurse to see how they're doing, but I'm good.
Cool. All right, the 4 of you head up to the nurse's station, and I figure that if anyone here has gone here before, it might be Rosari's from a little overtraining with Beatrice. You recognize a familiar, kind of like middle-aged half-elf woman with sort of cropped hair that like swoops back, very light-colored. She's a little on the shorter side, kind of stocky, and she sees you come in. This is Nurse Gladys, and she sees you, and she's just like, "Oh, hey, bud, are you doing all right?" Oh, there's 4 of you.
Yeah, usually it's just me and Beatrice, but we went on a mission and we need some help.
Right on. All right, yeah, let's get you guys fixed up. Come on back. And she waves you guys back, and there's like this little waiting room area, but she immediately brings you back into like a station where she sort of sets you guys down, gives you a once-over. Some of you, like Rosari's and Gwen, I'm assuming you guys are just missing some hit points. There's not really any lingering damage. She just heals you guys back up with some cure wound spells.
Well, I wasn't hit at all, so...
Oh, Gwen, yeah, you're fine. She literally goes over to you and she's just like, "Are you just here for the ride, or...?"
Yeah.
She gives you a thumbs up.
Just seeing how everyone's doing.
Cool. If that's the case, I'll have you sit on the other side of the room. So she has Rosari's, Leo, and Marcel there. The things that she will point out to you guys is, Leo, that acid, luckily you were wearing armor. However, also unluckily you were wearing armor. Your armor in a lot of different places has started to like corrode a little bit, and it's a little bit more than just visual impairments. It is starting to like get weaker in some spots, and it might break if you don't get that thing fixed up. But as far as like your skin and stuff, just some basic healing and you're good to go. So you're back to full HP. Your exhaustion is not gone, but you're revitalized. You're full of energy again. You can breathe easy. Marcel, she gives you a look over, and your shirt's like, splotchy and covered. She lets you know that you're going to have a little bit of scarring, that this healing is not just going to immediately cover. That might last a lot longer.
But can this shirt make it? Please use your medical techniques to save my shirt. It's silk.
How about you take it to one of the other professors with mending, and hopefully that'll get fixed right up.
Good. One more for the road as he like tries to about to pass out, takes off his shirt. Oh.
You like pass out and she covers you with a gown and she's like, I'm gonna keep him here for tonight. He seems like he needs the rest. So she heals you up, and to let you know, you do have some like acid scarring. Luckily, nothing cosmetic. You're still the handsome young devil that you are, but your right shoulder and chest area it's not very big, but they do have a couple of scars that are going to take a lot of time to potentially fade.
Right on.
Cool. All right. So Marcel stays in the nurse's office. Leo, you're kind of good to go, but she recommends that you like take your armor and get it fixed up somewhere. Glenn, you're literally fine, and Rosari's, you were healed back to full HP. From there, where are we going? I guess it's pretty late in the day on Saturday. You guys are probably hungry, ready to get some food, but...
Well, maybe they should talk to Professor Rance. Oh yeah, we came back.
That'd be a pretty good idea.
Marcel, you're asleep.
I know. That's what he says before he passes out. Make sure you talk to Professor Rance. I mean, he sleeps, talks to Professor Rance all the time.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to know about those dreams.
Yeah, keep those to yourself.
Yes, keep rejecting me. Oh.
You guys just see Marcel there, like, sleeping with the, like, nurse's gown tossed over him. He's, like, moving his hand and making a kissy face as he sleeps. Not okay.
Anyways, to leave that, Gwen, do you want to take us to Professor Rant's office?
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Wonderful. You guys trek your way down to Rorsch Plaza. Still, like, you're healed back up, but you still have a little bit of, like, that tiredness and... I don't want to say exhaustion because that's an actual mechanic, but you guys walk your way down to Rorsch Plaza and stop by Professor Rant's office. You knock on the door. She opens it up, very happy to see you guys, and she's like, "Oh, hey, yeah. How'd the mission go? Everything all right?"
Yeah, I think we took care of it.
Phenomenal.
We killed the queen.
Rosarius is just holding the head of the queen up over Gwen's shoulder.
Nice. All right. That's fantastic. I'm glad to see. Did two of you die?
No.
I swear you had a druid and a little human guy with you.
Yeah, they're in the nurses.
Actually, did three of you
office.
die? Where's the?
Do you really care where Marcel is? Do you want to deal with him?
Did two of you die?
No. They're fine, I think.
I think they were just tired and they wanted to turn in.
Okay. I mean, good to know that they're okay. But yeah, so everything went all right. You guys cleared it out, destroyed the eggs, took care of the queen, that sort of stuff. This is an awful long silence.
I was looking at something that you sent me, so could you say that again?
She says, so did everything go all right? Did you clear them out, destroy the eggs, kill the queen, all that stuff? And then you guys just sit there staring at her for like a hot minute. She just goes, awkward silence. I like it.
If there were any eggs in the hole, I don't know if we got all of those, but someone threw a bomb down there.
A bomb?
So maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I will send an upperclassman ranger just to go double check. But
Alright, sounds good.
it's cleared out. Thank you. I appreciate the help. Consider that a success for y'all's third challenge. Yeah, you guys are doing great. I don't have any other notes.
Alright.
Well, if you guys don't need anything else, it is the weekend, so I'm going to return to my house and finish up some reading. So, yeah, see y'all later.
I actually have one thing to ask you. when everyone else leaves.
Sure. Hey, the other two of you, scram.
Get out of here, Rosarius.
Skedaddle.
Rosaries and Leo.
I'm just gonna guide Leo back, and I'll talk to him about fixing his armor for him on the way back.
Nice. We'll get there. Bookmark that. Yeah, Gwen, what's up?
Well, I was reading up on some of the subclasses, and none of them really seem to like fit for me, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Is there maybe anything else?
So, I despise how most courses here have a intro class, but Rangers don't, because there's just so much stuff that you have to learn if you don't know it. Tell me what you know. Like, where's the disconnect with the ones that you know about?
I just kind of feel like it's not really anything I'm used to from the stuff I've seen people do back home.
Sure, yeah. So listen, I know a lot of us from Eorsha, specifically the Rangers Association, they will have like their animal companions, and some of them will be more proficient in just hunting and killing monsters, and those are all good, but it's kind of something you have to choose. Like, you're not born into an archetype. You kind of pick something that fits with your personality and your desired skill set. So when you see yourself graduating from this school and being free to do whatever you want, what do you plan for that?
I mean, I really just want to help people, kind of like how people at home did for me. But I'd like to be able to maybe also do some sort of magic I've seen people do back in my clan.
Mm-hmm. So I really wish that we had more formal studies on Dragonborn Rangers and their specific additions to the skill set that we have as a group. But there's not a ton on it. But if you'll give me a little bit of time, I'll do some reading and see if I can't look into that. There might be some books that Baron can recommend me about that, but I'll look into it and I'll get back to you on that. But for now, I mean, you and some of the others are advancing fairly fast. You guys are doing great, and it's only like the first month of school. So I can promise you this. If you can't make a decision and you end up picking something that you don't like, it's not impossible to change. I can always be there for that. So if you want to just temporarily assign yourself a sort of study, a direction, we can change that later.
Okay. I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, if you want to do some more reading outside, we can always talk after class, and I'll let you know if I find anything out.
All right. Thank you so much again, Professor.
She gives you a nod and then closes the door as you walk away.
Okay.
From there, we also have Rosaris and Leo who are walking back to campus. Leo's got that point of exhaustion, so you're kind of just like a little drained. It's nothing that really holds you back, but you just kind of feel that like heaviness on you, where you're like, a good day of rest would do wonders for your body. As you guys are walking back, I think a conversation's to be had. Rosari said he wanted to talk about armor.
I think for a minute there's like this awkward silence. Both of us are like super tired. We both have a point of exhaustion. We both went down, and then I think finally Rosari is just like, "Look, we're both tired. I appreciate you coming to my aid when I needed it. As a show of thanks and to show gratitude for you being in our party, let me look at your armor and I can try to fix it for you. And it'll be free of charge. I won't charge you like someone else might."
I think that Leo looks at him, kind of surprised, and he's just kind of like, "All right, sounds good."
So, how am are you gonna come to like my room and take your armor off, or how are we gonna? I don't like this is awkward.
You want me to undress in front of you?
Well, ideally, like I can see through your chainmail, and there are like clothes underneath. Ideally, you just take the chainmail off.
I think our friendship has gone to another level.
Oh, yes, it has.
Honestly, if you just want to give me the chainmail right now, that's perfectly fine as well. Like,
Sure, sure. Make this a little less awkward, I guess.
cool. So, again, just thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
He's gonna
I
carry
appreciate
your.
everything you did back there.
I don't feel like I did that much, honestly. But
No, you did a lot, trust me.
So as you guys sort of finish up this conversation, Leo, you hand over your chainmail to Rosari's. One thing I did want to ask is, from my understanding, that was the first time that either of you have ever, in mechanical terms, gone down. Like, truly, not necessarily lost a fight, but like been hit so hard that you could not get back up. I would love to hear just a small piece from both of your thoughts as you guys sort of depart and go on your own ways, and you're left to think as you walk back to your room. How are your characters feeling?
Tired. Leo's tired.
I think Rosari's is not as much tired as he is like just discouraged, because like multiple times he was stuck between like he had to make a decision, he couldn't be two places at once, and so he felt like he wasn't able to do everything that he was supposed to be able to do.
I like it. So with that, the rest of the weekend sort of becomes a blur. A lot of you guys are very tired and ready to just rest for a day, spend Sunday really getting back on your feet, you know, reading, studying. Is there anything specific you guys would like to do in that time?
Marcel would definitely try to wake up and go to his room. That's a good plan.
Yeah, I'd say later, like Saturday night or Sunday morning or something, you sort of wake up after resting in the nurse's office, where they constantly have like someone who's on watch from the volunteer students, and you go back to your room.
When a student gets close, like trying to walk, I pretend I'm coma, but right when they're near my bed, I go, "You want to see a dead body?" Like, ah!
You absolutely scare the hell out of some like second year cleric who just like jumps, like they're breathing super heavy, and they just go, "You're good enough to leave. I'm goodbye," and then they walk out of the room.
I'm good. Marcel gets up without his shirt on. So, oh, grabs shirt, puts it over his arm, and walks towards someone who can fix it.
Sure. You live in Saroche Hall. It's going to be very easy for you to find someone who knows the mending cantrip. As a matter of fact, I would love to say that your roommate, Nelvin, would probably know it.
Nelvin!
You come in, let's just say Sunday morning. Nelvin is sitting there, you know, this kid with like spiky white hair and a couple of like small scars on his face. You yell to him after him not seeing you for a while, and he just goes, "Oh, hey man, how's it going? Are you okay? Where have you been?"
I've been in battle, but a great creature, constant striking, pools of acid on my body. I was able to manage to survive, with the help of my friends. But a tragedy happened. My shirt, it was affected. I need your miracles to fix it.
Yeah, I can try. He holds out his hand for you to hand it to him.
Okay, and while he's doing that, Marcel will actually pull out a piece of paper, write down a Marcellus Day coupon. Here you go. You cash this on if you want me not to be Super Marcel any day you want.
He folds it up and says it on his desk. He's like, I appreciate it, I guess. As he sets the shirt across his desk and begins to cast the mending cantrip and just slowly patch all of the holes on it, which is going to take him a little bit, he lets there be like an air of kind of awkward silence for a minute before he pipes up again and says, so I know the whole situation with like Billy is pretty awkward, but we're roommates. I don't want there to be any tension between us.
I have no issue with you. I mean, look. Honestly, I'm honest. The Billy thing's done with. I haven't seen it in a while. I don't go out of my way to even attack the guy anymore.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Well, I haven't heard him mention you in a while, so I'm hoping things can just sort of pass over. But I know he just wanted to hold a grudge. So.
No, I have an issue with another guy I was kind of close with, and I kind of took things a little too far. So I've been trying to hold back a little with some other guys. You understand?
Are you talking about the wizard that was in your party?
Yeah. He's a great guy, and I know I'm responsible for what happened with him, and it really did hurt me because I really do respect his abilities and skills. It's just I was thrown in a situation where mentally I couldn't. It was tricky. Let's just say I screwed up a lot with a good friend. I'll still treat him as a friend, and if I ever see him again, I'll want to make it work. But
yeah, I mean, it'll be hard not to see him. You guys live in the same building, but no, he was really off earlier last week after the first challenge, but then here recently he's been kind of, I guess, back to his normal self a little bit.
Yeah. Just know that me and him, there is no blood, bad blood. It's just I just made a stupid mistake.
Gotcha. And with that, he finishes up the shirt and tosses it back to you, and he says, "There we go. Not exactly good as new, but I think it'll work."
You restored it, Magic Man. Thank you.
We are both magic men. Yes.
But you're a magic man with a coupon.
That's right.
He walks slowly back to his side of the dorm and neatly folds his silk shirt, and then you see like 20 other silk shirts next to it. Irreplaceable.
As you fold up your shirt and set it away, I will point out that you, on your desk, see the letters that you got a few days ago, and your mind goes back over the fact that you have not written your sisters back yet.
Oh, crud, I was in the nurse's office for so long. He starts like grabbing his pens and stuff and start writing. He writes down actually 3 letters.
Cool. Do you want to go ahead and go over this?
He'll definitely try to put those away.
You want to go ahead and read them out after you get done writing them?
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Give me a second.
Let's start with the one to your dad.
Father, the school is treating me well, far better than those sycophants under the guises of tutors who made my childhood a waking nightmare. I'm glad that your mind has been so easily changed by my acceptance to Loomis, since now you are able to leverage me as a way to make connection with the 2 princes. There's a part of me that's quite touched by you calling me your son, and you will always be my father, always, but the landscape of Terraway is so corrupted I am afraid of your other son. He's becoming something far worse than a proper elf. So please make sure my brother Caleb doesn't become someone who will make all the wrong choices. Your son, the Agavane of Terra's Weight, Marcel Akameli of House Antioch.
Fantastic. Yes. Who'd you write to next?
Terrell's. My sister.
Yep. Got a letter to Terralis here. Go ahead and read it out for us.
Terralis, one of the 2 stars that I treasure. I'm sorry for my silence. I understand the strain it may feel to not hear from your silly brother. Father and I do not have the closest of relationships. He was more of a fan of trying to make me into him, but I understand where he's coming from. I assume his father did the same thing to him, like a cycle of proper elves, with me breaking the mold. I'll be there to meet our father since I do need to confront my past. Caleb is a different story. I do love my brother, but I fear him. Where I escaped the old guards, he embraced them. I will try to return and see if I can make sure he remembers that he's our family first. I left because I felt that some force is trying to push me and Caleb into some blood feud, which is something that we can't have. You know it more than I that I can't stand getting restrained, even by fate. So I'll make sure Caleb will see the same light that I have seen from my friends. When I return, I will tell you and Elise about the people that I trust with my life. Marcel, the big brother who will teach Caleb a lesson.
Beautiful. And then you got one more letter, right?
Yep, one more letter.
This one being sent to your youngest sister,
Elise.
Elise.
Elise, the princess of puppies! Hey, Elise, make sure you don't eat all those imported cookies when I come back, or the sky whale won't visit you. I have worked my butt off, which is saying a lot since your dummy brother hates studying. But luckily, I have a group of buddies that you will love. I'll bring something from Elium, but it'll be a surprise since I want you excited. Harder you study, bigger the gift. Cookies, not cookies. Dummy brother with the S word.
With the S word. Absolutely love it. So you finish writing these up Sunday, you get them sent off, and they are on their way back to your home in Terra's Weight. Anybody else have anything that they're doing Sunday, or are you guys just so excited for classes?
I would like to do some. I don't know. I want to go check out the Bards area, just like see if I can stock a couple for research purposes.
For sure. I actually think that something will catch your attention. Question for Rosaris, my favorite person to pick on. Sunday, I'm assuming that you have a couple of regular activities around the school. Sparring with Beatrice is probably the number one. And then when Beatrice is not sparring with you, you also hang out with Kada, who is a bard and likes to spend time in Carnegie Hall practicing music and stuff like that. So Sunday being more of a day of rest, would it be safe to say that you're hanging out with Kada sometime on Sunday?
Yeah, probably.
Nice. Kieran, guide me through your steps here. Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm going to just kind of, I'm wearing like my nice attire, kind of standing out, but in a way that people would ignore me. Sassily shadowing people, looking around, listening for any music or poetry going on, and just seeing if I can kind of integrate myself into a group to see if they are practicing or not, and if they're not, I'll just kind of move along.
Yeah, so you walk around Carnegie Hall, which is our Bard dorm building. It's got a couple other classes in it as well, but you're looking for Bard specifically. And you pass like the lounge area where Kada, Barry, and Rosaris are all sitting, hanging out, and Kada is sitting there like fiddling with the lute. Not necessarily playing music as a performance, but just kind of, multitasking, noodling while she talks to the others.
Okay.
There are some other people that you could definitely go find, but if you want to go interact with them, you definitely could.
Could kill two birds with one stone, I guess. Yeah, I'll go approach. Well, I'm gonna kind of listen from like the sideline, see if I can kind of get an idea of what I'm running into, if it's worth talking to them or not.
Sure, yeah. I will actually leave this up to Rosaris. What would the conversation be like? Is it just kind of small talk, talking about classes and homework, or are you filling them in on the state of your party? What's going on?
I think it probably would have been like the three of us sharing about like what our third challenge was and like how that went for all of us. Because I know all of them have been pretty unique compared to each other.
Yeah. What do you tell them? Like, how do you describe the situation?
We blew up a hole and bugs came out, and then we killed the bugs, and the bugs almost killed us.
Love to see it. Yeah. So you give them a description of that, and Kata sort of pipes in and tells you, like, yeah, that actually sounds kind of fun, with my group, again, being a lot of more intelligent people. They are really testing their abilities to not only think on their feet, but to do things without acting. So they throw a lot of like surprises in there. So they're doing some like, they sound like more menial challenges like capture the flag or freeze tag and things like that. But then they always throw a twist in, like there's a person in the game that they didn't know about, or the flag is invisible, or things like that. So she talks about how like her and Beatrice have actually had to like get closer because they're problem solving together and stuff like that. And then Barry pipes up and she's like, ours is pretty much the opposite. We have had to practice like strategizing and working as a team too, because two of the people in the group kind of don't get along. They have Balon and your not your roommate, Balon and Leofric, who are both like awkwardly leaders and don't really get along all that well. So they're just saying that like their challenges aren't going bad, it's just challenging.
Kieran, is that enough for you to figure out if you want to go, or do you need me and Shorty to talk more?
No. Yeah, you guys. I was letting you guys finish. Yeah. Kieran's gonna kind of approach the situation, and in a very professional manner he usually does. Hey guys, I heard you guys are having a lovely conversation about a previous encounters. How is that going?
Kata like quiets down on her lute, and she's like laying across a couch, and Rosaris and Barry are both like sitting on a chair, however you guys would like. But she like pulls her legs up and spins to make room on the couch, like opposite her. And she's like, yeah, Rosaris was just telling us about how, he had to take the brunt of most of the fight with you guys.
Yeah, and he was a very good distraction for me to take out a few of the big guys, for sure. Very, very distracting indeed. Did he tell you about the epic journey me and Athera went on to install a bomb and blow up half of them?
He did tell me that, and then he told me about the significantly more than half of the bugs that came out of the ground that you guys had to fight.
Yes, it was an epic clash. Beautifully, beautifully done.
Also, are you taking notes from that squirrel from the other day? Is climbing trees like a habit for you?
Well, getting a vantage point is always strategic, is not? Why would I jump in the middle of a fight when I need to figure out what the hell's going on? Like, I saved Marcel by doing that, was able to pick off a few others, and, came in for some great kills up close and personal when I needed to.
Sure, yeah. I just think it's a little interesting, I guess. I consider myself more of a support kind of person. I'm not wielding weapons and standing in the front lines of fire, but even then, me and my party have sort of started working well together. Me and Beatrice are a force to be reckoned with, and it doesn't require climbing trees.
Interesting. I've seen you're playing your lute there. You're a bard, right?
Yeah.
That's so intriguing. I don't know. I'm always interested. I'm in the poetry class. I'm learning a lot about the different styles of music and the ways that epic heroes back in the day have spun them together to combat many different evils back in the day. And it's just so intriguing.
Yeah, Kata like smiles a little bit and then looks over at Barry and she says, "Yeah, Barry's told me a lot about the poetry class. It's pretty interesting, pretty fun."
Yes. It's just I'm always so intrigued about it. I know, being a rogue, I kind of always felt a little on the same level as the bards, where with the types that are not quite there with the other types, but you're like a casting version of me in a way.
Sure, I guess. I can see the similarities. We're both masters of the crafts, yet kind of good at everything.
Yeah, you gotta have a pocket for every type of pick. Whether it's a guitar pick, or it's a lute pick, or it's a lock pick,
Sure.
Yeah. I heard this incantation you guys do, where you insult someone so bad it distracts them. Is that true?
Yes, it's a little more complicated than that. Obviously, if that were the case and it was just insulting people, Rosaris would have been dead decades ago. But you have to do it in a certain way and use a little bit of magic to create a sort of like psychic occurrence in the person's mind. It's more than just hurling an insult, but that's kind of the channeling magic way to do it.
So I can't just point at Rosaris and say, "You're runted silver spine," and he's not gonna kill over and die.
She turns to Rosaris and acts super concerned. She's like, "Do you feel hurt right now? Or do you need healing?"
I only feel insulted that he thought that was the best insult he could come up with. You've done far worse on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh, just wait. Well, thank you for that. Could you do something for me then? Just a little thing.
Me?
You play the lute.
Yeah.
I do poetry.
Mm-hmm.
We should perform together sometime.
Potentially. I could see the connection.
Yeah, you could write a good backstory, and then I could maybe start doing some singing or spoken word, and you can key in with me in a duet. What do you think, Rosaris? Would that be lovely?
You can ask Kata. You don't want me to sing the lyrics.
Oh, of course not. You're not charismatic enough to do that. I'm saying us who, know how to speak our words.
I know how to speak the words. I just don't care for yours too much.
Oh. I'd be hurt if I actually cared.
At this point, Kata sort of slowly sprawls back out over the couch and puts one of her legs down the couch, and then one of her knees is bent up to hold the lute as she takes up the space again, and she says, "I'll have to think about it. I'll let you know. But for now, we're pretty swamped with homework. Barry tells me that you guys have to analyze almost a poem a day in class, and that takes a little bit more than just reading it. It's a lot of thought and context."
Kieran will kind of get the cue and be like, "Oh, of course. Rosaris, have yourself a wonderful rest of your day," and then give him a wink as I walk away.
And with that, Kieran exits, and as you do, Kata turns back to Barry, and she's just like, "Did he not recognize you from class?" And Barry, peeking up over the poetry textbook that you guys are going through, she's like, "I don't think he did. I'm literally holding the book, but it's fine." And she goes back to reading.
To be fair, Barry, you have to talk a little bit more for people to notice you.
I don't want to do that.
Fair enough, but you're also a bard.
Whoa.
Kata,
Door past this.
insult him. And then Kata's just going to be like, yeah, I don't think you have room to insult anybody talking in front of others, Rosaris.
Yeah. Speaking of talking to others, I have someone I need to go talk to.
Sure, that's a shock. I didn't know you had other friends. But...
Oh, it's a professor, don't worry.
Oh, it's fitting. Okay, well, I'll see you later. Barry and I are gonna sit here and rejoice in the fact that we didn't fail our last mission, and hopefully that we succeeded enough to be in the top contenders for the sparring match.
Yeah. Only one of you can make it. And he's gonna walk out.
She smiles and like flips you off as you leave, and then you head out. Where are you going to?
I think Kieran saying like I was only a distraction really upset Rosaris more than he allowed it like to show. So he's gonna go talk to his paladin professor, Professor Tirada.
Sure. You go through the campus and go to the main academy building, go into the west wing where a lot of the paladin classes are. You swing by Professor Tirada's room, and the door is closed, but you know that the professors will, even on the weekends, often like frequent the campus, whether they're working with students on projects or getting other work done. So you walk up to the door that is currently closed and give it a knock, and you hear that gruff voice from inside just say, come in.
Rosaris is gonna open the door and be like, sorry to bother you. Are you free?
Oh, hey, yeah, Rosaris, come on in. It's no problem at all.
I'll go in and I'll, close the door pretty gently and awkwardly walk over to a chair.
Yeah, you sit in a chair at the other side of his desk, and he's sitting there reading a book that is actually kind of familiar to you. It's written by Professor Arihala. It is not a forward on religious studies, which is your textbook. It is a continue on religious studies. So you see him like put a bookmark in it and toss it on his desk, sit there and lean back in his chair a little bit, and he's just like, hey, I've been meaning to ask you. I didn't want to bring it up in class, but I interviewed Kieran, and whenever I first met him, he was not in a very good spot, and I just wanted to see if he's doing all right with you guys. You seem like the type that would at least make sure he's decently taken care of. Not to cause issues, at least.
He has a severe talent for doing things that make me not want to do that.
I understand. Absolutely. Well, what brings you in? What can I do for you?
I don't know how much you are all able to hear about our challenges, but our challenge was to go kill a nest of ankhegs, and I am just kind of upset that I thought paladins were strong. I thought paladins could do anything. I thought they could change the world, and it seemed like I went down immediately, had to have someone res me, and then I was stuck deciding if I wanted to be defensive, offensive, bring someone up, kill an ankheg. I couldn't be everywhere, and I don't like that.
Yeah, listen, first off, let me clarify. You're absolutely right. Paladins are incredibly potent. That's why I became one. It gives you a lot of competency on the battlefield, a lot of abilities that are very practical. And even though I focus more on the sort of magical and ability side of things, the same thing still applies. One of the biggest things you're going to have to come to terms with as especially a fresh first year, but as someone who is just starting on their journey, is you don't have all the pieces you need to be everywhere at once yet. I know pretty soon you guys are going to be taking your oaths in the class, hopefully by the end of the next couple of weeks, and that's going to give you a lot more sense of direction for what you're going to do. It's very, very hard to be everywhere at the same time, but when you take your oath like we've been talking about in class, it'll at least give you a sense of what your focus is. And I think that's the thing that you need right now, is a little bit of focus.
I just don't know what I want to protect people, but if I only spend my time protecting them, then the enemy gets to keep attacking them, and it's a war of attrition that we will eventually lose.
You know, I'm never much of an advocate for rushing things or expediting things that need to take their time. But it sounds like you're ready to start thinking about your oath. Have you put any thought into it before now?
I think Rosari's is going to be a little shy, so he's not going to meet his gaze, and he's going to try to sort of distract the conversation and look around the room, and then ask him like, I have what oath did you take?
At this point, and if you want to look around the room, I can absolutely tell you some stuff about that, but Tarada's body language is going to change. So I'm going to have you pick. Do you want to try to glance around the room and glean some information from that, or do you want to try to read his body language and see what his response is physically?
I think Rosari's is trying not to show his own body language, so if he looks at Tarada, it's going to be a give and take. Like, I'll see his, but he'll see mine. So I think Rosari's is just going to look around the room instead.
Yeah. Give me an investigation check really quick.
21.
Ooh. You glance around the room and you notice a couple of things that stick out to you as you're talking to him and sort of avoiding his gaze. The first one is, even if you've been in this office before, now that you're finally giving it a real good look, he's got a lot of religious texts, and it's not that it comes off as sort of super focused or niche, but more of he's a well-studied guy. Despite the fact that paladins are typically associated with religion, but not being super studious. So he comes off as a little bit more intelligent. You glance around, you see a couple of like small artifacts and trinkets that have to do with religion. You notice symbols of the sun god Paran. A lot of books, a lot of texts. And then the other thing that stands out to you is, though he has a lot of decorations up on the wall, like some ornamental weapons or, you know, decrees or recommendations from nobles, whatever it may be. One piece sticks out to you, and that is a shield. There's a shield on the wall with a small symbol towards the top. It's like a kite shield, and at that top point, it has a little symbol that most people would not recognize, but it does stick out to you. It's the bottom half of a circle, and then what looks like 4 eyelashes. It kind of looks like a closed eye, but it's a very simple symbol. So you see that up on the shield as he continues talking, and he says, well, I'm not exactly proud of it, but I actually broke my oath a long time ago, and it's not impossible to start a new one, but I think there's a little bit of power in the fact that I broke it, and I like to keep that.
I think, one, there's no way Rosari's would hide his shock at seeing the shield, so you can go ahead and Tarada knows, like, saw something there.
Yeah, he got like a 25 on insight. Yeah, he noticed.
Yeah, I don't think I could physically deception. I have a +3, so yeah. I think he's going to respond with just one phrase, and it's never unsheath without reason. And he's going to sort of use that to gauge a response.
He hears you say that, and he says, is that your hint to me on what your oath is going to be? Like, what, can you elaborate on that? I like the sentiment, don't draw your sword without any purpose, but...
What was your oath before you broke it?
So I know in class we're covering the different types of oath, and it's never our goal at the school to withhold information. So we've talked about the oath of vengeance before. But that's what it was. I don't know if you're a big history buff like myself, but a long time ago.
Yes, that's a nice book you're reading, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah. Professor Rihalas, a very well-written man. But I started as a cleric. That was my trade for many years until the city that I lived in was destroyed by a group that I swore vengeance against, and that's whenever I started my, stint as a paladin. And then sometime along that journey, I learned about forgiveness and decided to break my oath.
Just to be clear, he said he was a cleric for Paran?
From your investigation around the room, you assumed that he is, but he didn't state it specifically.
Okay. So I can assume he's Paran.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When did you take that oath? 20 years ago?
A little less than that, but yeah.
And again, I can't deceive him. He's gonna roll better than I could. So I think he would see Rosaries as like trying to process 20 different things all at once.
He
that's
sees
like
you
both
like
about him and personal.
Yeah, the gears are turning in your head. It's very obvious that you're thinking about a lot, and he says, "Okay, listen, you seem to have a lot of questions, and you're processing a lot right now, and I don't want to overload you, but I'll wrap up what I have to say with this. It seems like you are looking for a place to fit within your party. You need to be able to do things, you need to be able to help everyone, and I really respect that. There are a few oaths that I could specifically recommend, but I think it should be up to you to decide.
There are no multiple oaths to take. There is the oath.
I think that means your decision is made then.
There was no decision. There only is the oath. And I sort of point to his shield.
He looks up at it on his wall, and he leans back and looks at you, and he says, "Listen, kid, I'm going to be very real with you. You're confusing the hell out of me right now." I can see the gears turning in your head. They're starting to turn in mine too, and I'm not a big fan of that, because that doesn't happen very often. So can you, I'm going to switch this around. I'm going to ask you a question. What oath do you want to take?
The oath of the Watchers.
You see him like almost have a light bulb above his head, and he's like, "Oh, interesting." And he says, "And how does that relate to the shield that I have?"
Where did you get the shield? It's not yours. I already know that. Not originally.
At this point, I'll let you roll an insight check to see if you can catch his reaction.
18.
Ooh. He leans back a little bit, and you can see like shock on his face, and he says, "And how did you know that?"
You did not respond correctly.
Sure, whatever that means, but...
Because I know the response associated with that shield. That symbol, I should say.
He crosses his arms and sort of looks you up and down, and he says, "You know, you're full of surprises."
Let's just say you weren't the only one to lose your hometown to the cult of Cortez.
He sort of purses his lips and looks up, and he looks at you, and he says, "To explain the shield, whenever I lived in Plasar, I was doing my studies, and the city was attacked by the cult, like you said. And I felt a lot of how you feel now, of I couldn't help everybody, couldn't be everywhere at once, and it made me very, very angry. The thing that sort of kept me on the right path and actually reminded me to forgive and to break my oath was the person who gave me that shield. He saved my life and a lot of other people's that day, and he helped fight back.
What do you know his name? Do you know what he looked like?
He shakes his head and he says, from what I could tell, he was a half-orc guy. And at first glance, I actually thought he was the other paladin professor here when I first met him, because they're both half-orcs, they wear kind of similar armor, but it's not him. But no, he never gave me his name. He just protected me, gave me the shield, and helped me get to safety.
There's more I'd like to say, but I don't think I'm ready for that.
Listen. At the end of this week, I'll make it a point in class to have you and anyone else who's ready take their oaths. We'll do that, and then if you're still feeling lost after that, we can continue this conversation.
Okay.
He leans forward in his chair again. He sort of pulls up a list and starts flipping through like a clipboard, and he says, "I'll tell you what. Before you take your oath, Wednesday, I'll have you meet an upperclassman at the training hall, and he'll help coach you a little bit and hopefully give you some direction. And if you're still not feeling complete by then, don't have to take your oath at the end of the week. We'll just go from there."
Okay, that sounds good.
He sets the clipboard down. He says, "All right, well, listen, you go rest, give it some thought. I'll see you in class tomorrow."
Yeah, I'll go train real quick. All right, bye. He's gonna get up and walk out the door.
You shut the door behind you as you leave, and with that, the rest of you guys kind of go about your days on Sunday. Am I missing anything, or are we ready to move to Monday?
I say we're good.
Yeah, sounds like it. Fantastic. So all of you sort of go about your day Sunday. We move on to Monday, and you guys go to classes. You have homework. Marcel, Professor Talanch, keeps giving you guys research and writing assignments on the different pacts that warlocks can make, the different associations with their powers. It is so much writing and so much summarizing.
I've been attacked by a pool of acid. Give me a break.
No breaks for you. Absolutely not.
You're in adventure school, not whining school.
So, I'm just going to go down the list here of what you guys are doing. As we go through the beginning part of the week, at least, I know there's a couple of things that your characters are spending their time on. The first thing, I'm going to pick on Aethera, because we haven't talked to her at all yet.
Yeah, hiding.
Yeah, you're over there hiding in the corner.
Yeah. No.
You, as a druid, have a very big connection with magic. And a lot of this magic is probably very new and surprising to you. As a matter of fact, the way that druids mechanically work is you have access to all of your spells, but you can prepare them each day. I think it fits to say that for you, you don't know most of them. So with that being said, how is Aethera sort of managing this growth in power as she is feeling herself more capable of spells, and how does that manifest in her?
There's like one or two that she might be like more familiar with because she saw other people do it or things like that. But as like the newer things come up, like there's some spells where it's almost like she could feel nature is helping her. Like if she's trying to connect with animals and she's like has thoughts, she can feel like, wait, I feel like I can just reach out and talk to this animal. But then there's like other things that she's just like doesn't have any idea how this works. And she's starting to feel like maybe she needs to talk to a professor or start reading some books and figure out, okay, I need to start doing some of this stuff intentionally. I can't just turn into a wolf every time there's a problem.
Sure. I'm going to let you decide how you seek to solve this problem.
I think firstly she's gonna want to try and talk to her one professor after class. Isn't it? It's not Mineo. Whichever one's more about magic.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. So your professors. Mineo is the expert on wild shape. The other professor, Professor Nalithe, is more of the like plants and magic. She is this tall, almost giantess, but super like soft and gentle. Her race is Furbolg. I'll just put that out there. But she has told you guys she's from the Althus tribe here in Wisteria. She came here as a student and then ended up accepting a position teaching because druids are not common among the, regular rabble of people. But you swing by her after class on Monday and you catch her before everybody leaves. What do you ask her?
I'll go up to her. Excuse me, Professor?
Hey, Athira, how's it going?
It's good. I had a question, if you have time.
Yeah, I can definitely spare some time. We have 20 minutes until our next class. What can I do for you?
So, my party just had another quest. And my one party member wanted to do something stealthy and quickly realized that like nobody in our group is very stealthy other than him, and I was able to like turn into a rat to be more stealthy, but I don't want to like turn into a rat every time that we have to be quiet. So I just Mineo's always going on and on about druid shape, but I realized I don't really know a lot about magic, and I was just wondering if you had any like spells or suggestions about how to like, I don't know, be quieter or make other people quieter. Rosarius is really loud, and I just sometimes I feel like he's gonna give us away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And she looks around and she grabs like a scrap of paper and a quill and writes something on it and then gives it to you. And she says, I think the best place for you to start would be this book. It's super helpful. It was helpful for me. Druids, half of it is innate magic. You can just do things and cause things to happen. You can turn into animals. But at some point, it does require a level of understanding, and the less familiar you are with druid magic, the more study that it takes. We're obviously not wizards, you don't need a spell book, but understanding what your magic can do and what you need for it and the effects of all these different spells that we can cast, this book will give you a great start to that. And if you need any more details on that, I can work with you one-on-one to sort of practice them and to go over them. But especially with you starting out, the list isn't egregiously long. But check out this book. Go to the library, find it, and let me know if you have questions.
I just look kind of like confused, and I look at her and I'll be like, Wait. So we can do things other than like plants and animals? Because I was just imagining turning everybody into rats. Is that what this is?
She laughs a little bit to herself and she says, You can do a lot of things outside of just plants and animals, yes.
So if I just read this book, then I learn everything.
Kind of.
She's gonna like basically like hug the book to her chest.
She just gives you a slip of paper with a note or with the name of the book.
She's going to then very like reverently like put it in her pocket, very carefully, be like, okay, I'm not gonna lose this.
She'll look at you and she'll say, like I said, start there. I feel like you're gonna really enjoy reading that, and then if you need any practice, that's what the classes are for.
Thank you for Professor. And then she's gonna turn right around and she's heading to the library immediately.
Fantastic. You take this note, and the name of the book is The Various Classifications of Magic, Druids, written by Professor Isomifi Baron. And you go to the library very quickly. You are directed by the librarian to where this book is. You get it, you check it out. Do you read it immediately, or are you kind of like gonna slowly delve into it?
No, I'm gonna sit down in the library and start reading it.
For sure. You sit down, and at first glance, this is written from a wizard's perspective, so it's very like technical, and it goes over all the different spells that druids can cast, and it goes over all the different effects of them, the materials you need, and it just details in a very categorized fashion all of the at least widely known spells of druids.
She's looking very overwhelmed. The words are starting to like spin together and just there's so much on these papers.
And with that, Athera is left to sit there in the library. Do you want to do anything else with that? You got options.
I got options.
Yeah, you could just sit there and power through it and read the book as much as you can. You could seek guidance or clarification from an NPC, a party member. What's the next step there?
I'll teach you everything about druid stuff.
Do I know like a place where some upperclassmen druids would be hanging out?
Typically Rorsch Plaza, if anywhere. Other than the dorm building, that's Rorsch Plaza is like rangers and druids. That's it.
I'm gonna go there.
Cool. So you're seeking some upperclassmen druids, yeah?
Yes.
Give me some metrics. Like, who would stand out to you? Are you trying to find like a familiar face? Are you looking for a specific, I don't know, like archetype of person? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm gonna get her name wrong.
Marcel.
No. Is it like Helga or something? The half orc? Or the orc?
Hildegard.
Hildegard.
Yeah. For
If I see
sure.
her, I'm going immediately to her.
You go to look for Hildegard. Absolutely. Good old Hildy. I like it. Hildegard's nice. You go down to Rorsch Plaza and you sort of wander around campus a little bit looking for an upperclassman, for someone to help you out. And eventually, down at Rorsch Plaza in one of the like study rooms with a bunch of plants and stuff like that. The druid classes are very like open, and they're less desks and books and things like that, and a lot of it's like practical elements, space and plants. That's a lot of the stuff here. You find Hildegard sitting down with a plant and like trimming some leaves, giving them waters, and like taking care of the plants in one of the classrooms. And she sees you like stop in the hallway and look at her, and she just goes, "Oh, hey Athera."
Hi, Hildegard. And I'm like gonna walk up, and I have the book now, right? I took it with me.
Yeah, you have the book.
Okay. And I'm like holding the book like really tight to my chest, and I'll just walk right up to her. That's a really nice flower.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of tulips. They're so pretty. They're my favorite.
That's a tulip?
Yeah.
That's what you call it?
Uh-huh. That's what they are called, yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Cool.
I have a question. Do you have time to answer a question?
I absolutely do. We'll trade question for question. You first.
Okay. And then she goes, she like sits there like, oh shoot, I have to answer a question now. Shoves the book over to Hildegard. So, the professor, I went to the professor to ask about learning a new spell, and she told me to read this whole book, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I just wanted a spell to make Rosaris and Leo be quiet.
Okay, hold on. And she like sets her stuff down and takes the book and sets it on the shelf, and she says, okay, reading the book's going to be great and it's going to give you a lot of stuff, but you said you just want a spell to make people quieter?
Well, yeah, so our group tried to do this thing, one of our tasks, and Kieran had this great idea about being stealthy in a cave, but then we realized that like most of our party can't be stealthy, and I had to turn into a rat, and I did not enjoy the experience. So I just want something so that I don't have to turn into a rat every time we want the party to be quiet.
Yeah, no, listen, if you need suggestions on spells and stuff like that, like if you want something specific, I can always help out with that. For example, if you were trying to make some rather loud members of your party be a little bit quieter, which I've had to do a couple of times, there's this really cool spell that you cast just over your entire group, and it kind of like muffles your sound and makes you blend into shadows just a little bit better. It kind of helps you go undetected, if that makes sense.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah. She takes the book and flips it open to a spell in the like second chapter of this book, which this book is massive. And she flips to it and it's titled Pass Without Trace. And she says, this is it, which I don't know if you can cast already. It kind of, I don't know what level you're at, like how much magic you're able to really do, but this is my go-to in that situation.
Pass Without Trace.
Mhm.
Ah. She takes the book and she starts to kind of read through it. Wait, so you cast this and it makes anybody you want to be more quiet.
Yes.
Can I just cast it anytime? Like if they're being
Hold that
too
thought.
loud.
And she walks over to some shelves and starts like rummaging through, and then pulls out like a tiny little pouch with this like gray ash in it, and then another one with a couple of leaves in it. And she takes them, puts them together, and she brings them over to you and she says, here, take these two.
Take some.
If you don't have anything that you channel magic through already, this should handle that. But this, do you not have like a focus?
Do you need a focus to do magic?
She like very, very gently like puts her hand sort of up to your face. She just says, oh dear baby. She goes to a drawer and starts rummaging through stuff. She's like, no, this doesn't really fit you. This doesn't really fit you. You'll have to give me some time on this, but I have an idea for you. For now, just take that and go try to cast the spell. It gives you the details, like the words to say, the actions that you can mimic. Just focus on this one. Take these two with you. Use those, and you should be good to go.
And this will make people quiet.
This will make people, well, not like talking quiet, but walking quiet.
But
Yeah, we don't really have anything to make people shut up. Other than turning into a bear, that typically works.
I need to get better at that.
You're already pretty good from what I heard. Kelrin spoke pretty highly of you.
Yeah, that was fun.
I told you. Anyway, take this. If you need any more guidance, you can ask me, or just throwing this out there, the person who wrote that book works at the school. If you are struggling with magic and need some assistance there, you can always ask him. Professor Barron is like the guy.
I know, but he's a wizard, Professor.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't even know we did spells. till now.
Classist.
she tells you like that's his job is to understand magic, and he is smart enough to understand it not just for himself but on everyone else's behalf as well.
Okay, thank you.
Plus, if you don't have an arcane focus, he can probably make you one.
She's like thinking through this. She looks down at the ground at the flower and she goes, Can you make me one of those tulip things? I'd like to put one in my room.
Sure, I'm sure we have some extra pots around here. And she goes with you. She grabs a pot from the classroom, walks outside, fills it with dirt, takes a couple leaves and sets it inside. And then Druid crafts it, and a nice little purple tulip sprouts, and she gives it to you and she says, "Here you go.
Thanks. And I can't wait to study this.
Just make sure to take care of that, because if you don't water it like every other day, it will die."
Okay, I'll water it every other day.
She just gives you a big friendly smile.
She'll smile back, turn around, and head back to her room.
With that, Athera is off to do her thing, to practice. Actually, as you begin to walk away, she goes, "Oh, my question! I asked you. I was going to ask you a question. I almost forgot. I was so excited
Athera
about the
like
flower."
stops with her back to Hildegard, and she's like, "Oh man, I was so." She like turns around. Okay.
You turn around and she looks at you and she kind of like ponders for a second. She says, "So your party, can you tell me about them?"
I mean, we have paladin, we have cleric, we have a rogue, we have a ranger, warlock, myself.
Yeah, I was thinking more on like, their personalities, kind of how they act. You can roll an insight check if you would like. That might...
Yeah, Dira.
Yeah,
How do you
Athera.
feel about us?
Yeah, there's not one specific member of our party that is hoping that you'll talk him up.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I think there's two, right?
Maybe.
Oy vey. Wait, I'm ready. I'm rolling an insight check?
Yeah, on
Okay.
Hildegard.
Gotcha.
She's honestly not even trying to hide this.
Well, I rolled a 7.
On a
And she is
7,
able
I will tell
hide it.
you that she is beating around the bush. There is a different question that she really wants to ask here, but she's kind of trying to like go around it and just get enough information to not ask it directly. But she's like, "Yeah, can you tell me about like all their personalities and what they're like, how they interact with each other?"
Athera's gonna like awkwardly look at her for a little bit. This is the wheels are like slowly turning. She's like, "Man, sure. There's a lot of people in my party. Anyone you'd like me to start with?"
No, you can pick.
Dang it. Okay. Well, I guess first we have Leo. We'll start with him because you guys have more in common than anybody else.
She immediately like gets attentive and she's like listening very closely at you describing everybody.
And I pick that up. I'm like, well, Leo's our cleric.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like to hurt people, which I think is like actually kind of nice. At first it was kind of annoying because we would get into fights and he wouldn't help. But he's very good at healing and is the reason that like half our party hasn't died yet. Very sweet. So generally like him, I think. And I'll like look at her to see if she's like satisfied with that amount of information.
It looks like you hit part of what she was really looking for, but not all of it.
And Athera's gonna go, "You know what? 50% ain't bad. 50% ain't bad," and she's gonna move on. I'm sure you've heard about Marcel.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
really, really loud, but he's also like really sweet. sometimes he's too much for me because I like quiet. I'm definitely gonna try and cast a spell on him, just to make sure it doesn't actually work that way.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Kieran, I haven't really figured out yet. He's like,
seems interesting.
yeah. He'll be like really all about the party and like verbose, and he loves his poetry. And then he'll like just disappear. So
So you wouldn't
I
really
don't figure
describe
that.
him as like reliable or consistent?
he reliably kills ankegs. That's about what I know.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
After that description, that's whenever you can probably tell that she's still listening and paying attention, but she's not as like, give me all the details. Seems that you have fully described who she was asking about, but she's still listening for like the rest of the party.
Yeah, give me the deets, girl.
With like that, like, is that enough for me to kind of put together like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I have an understanding of what she was getting at, or I'm still oblivious?
I'm gonna let you decide. I think Athera is smart enough to pick up on such obvious social cues, but if you want to play that a different way, that is totally fine.
DM, you're saying it to your no social cues.
Maybe.
She might. Athera's gonna like kind of pause, and I'll be like, I could tell you about Rosaries and Gwen, but I don't really have much to say about Gwen, and I don't really think those are the people you want to hear about anyways.
She immediately starts to blush. And she says, okay, listen, so here's the situation. I'm going to tell you this, but I trust on the both girl code and druid code that you are not going to go ratting me out and make it awkward. So, whenever I met your party the other day, I saw Leo and, another half-orc. He probably understands the kind of social implications of having green skin and tusks. It's, it's not something that many people can relate to. And I figured, like, hey, I might want to get to know him a little bit better, see if he is really cool, and he seems really great. And then Kieran came on pretty strong, and it just came out of left field, and I don't know how to feel about him. And I'm trying to make a decision as to who seems better fit to, like, give attention to, if that makes sense.
So you want to know who you should go out with?
That's a stretch.
Oh.
She says very loudly. Like, not angrily loudly, just like blushing and awkward loud. And she says, listen, I think Leo comes off as a little more shy and reserved, right? Am I correct about that?
You're correct.
Okay. She reaches down on the ground, and you see her druid craft another flower, and she picks it and hands it to you. And it's like just a little pink daisy, like, fits very easily in your palm. And she says, will you give this to Leo for me? And since Kieran is so direct and to the point, if he is interested in talking to me, I am confident that he will take the initiative to do so. But to at least extend the olive branch. And she hands the flower out to you and is like holding her breath.
I'll take the flower and I'll be like, I think that's the right choice. Kieran was already going on to my roommate, so I think he's distracted at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no.
Interesting. Again, I trust you not to really take this conversation anywhere else. You seem very nice and trustworthy, so just give that to Leo, tell him it's from me, and then depending on his response, if you want to let me know what he does or if he wants to come talk to me, that's great, and then we can just go from there.
Okay.
And she smiles really big with her like tusks kind of pointing up to the side of her mouth.
I like give her a little thumbs up. And I'll be like, is that everything?
Yep, that's great. Okay, thanks, bye. And she darts back into the classroom building and closes the door behind her, and you hear a very faint, like, I hate stereotyping like this, but like a very girly squeal come from inside of both excitement and kind of stress as she departs.
Dear, do a squeal. Squeal for us.
No thanks.
It's okay.
Athera's gonna like turn, and as she's walking off to now find Leo, she's looking at the tulip and the daisy in her hand, and she's like, she really should have made him another one of these tulips. They're a lot nicer.
And with
She'll
that,
go find Leo.
you're going to find Leo. Leo, it is, what, Monday after classes? What would Leo be doing?
He's probably in his room studying. Honestly.
Fantastic.
Man reads a lot.
He does read a lot. Speaking of, just to point out a couple of things that have been on Leo's mind, and I'll let you kind of tell us how he's been feeling about that. First and foremost, those letters that you got. You got one from your mom, one from your brother, who your dad also signed that one, and then one from Father Edel, who was sort of your mentor in the church. Do you plan on writing responses? Are you sort of processing those? How's Leo doing with that?
So Leo is definitely going to write responses to his mother and his brother, but he's kind of holding off a little bit with Father Edel because he's got some things he wants to ask, but is not sure how to approach it in this letter.
Absolutely. If you want to go ahead and knock out those first two at least, we can pull those up and you can tell us what you have written.
Sure.
Let's start with your letter to your mom.
All right. So, Mother, school has been interesting to say the least. I'm constantly buried in my books, and we have been divided into groups that participate in challenges. The group that I was placed in is a strong group of individuals, but there seems to be a bit of a disconnect when it comes to our synergy. I do have faith in this group. I do believe that if we are able to set aside our differences, we could become a powerful team. But I guess that only time will be able to tell. Lane has been reading my books. Well, I'm pleased to hear that. He is interested in the things that I'm doing. I do miss him very much. I am more surprised that Father has shown interest. Please help him outside at any warning signs of combustion. I'd be very saddened to not be able to come home to an actual home when I return. Also, yes, I do remember Lysilda. She and I have studied together, and I've helped her with a thing or two about the art of healing. It has been a breath of fresh air to have someone back home in school. She's been a very dear friend to me while I've been here. I hope that all is well at home, Mother. I miss you all so very much. With all my love, Leo.
Absolutely beautiful. You get that written, and then you also have another one to your brother, correct?
Yes. Let's see. Okay. Brother, school is another world. It's so far from what I've known in Stonewall. I really wish that you were here to see it. The people are diverse, and it gets hard to keep up sometimes, but I really am enjoying myself here. As for your graduation, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm so proud of you, brother, and everything that you have accomplished. You truly deserve all of this, and I cannot wait to celebrate this next chapter with you and the family. Tell Father that I do miss him. I know it's hard for him to admit these type of things, but I know that he tries. Missing you all, Leo. P.S. I love that you are reading my books, but I'm also not giving you shit if you somehow convince Father to expand his horizons.
Absolutely love it. Phenomenal. So you get those written and sent out, and I'm going to say that while you're sitting there with that third letter that just is completely blank right now, all it says at the top is, Dear Father Edel, or Dear Edel, however you'd like to address him. As you're sitting there trying to think of the words to write, you hear a knock at your door.
I'm going to get up and go answer the door.
Hey, Leo.
Marcel.
How you doing?
I'm well. Why are you here?
I don't know. I just wanted to see you, man. You're my good friend.
Your
We're
acid buddy.
buddies.
Are you okay? How is everything? Are you feeling better?
Honestly, it was kind of rough. I had to do some stuff, thinking about Lucian, and you know,
What about Lucian?
yeah, it was a. I don't know. I felt like I kind of let the group down with that one because he would have been a great member of our team if he stayed, but I felt like I chased him out.
No, I don't think. I mean, don't be hard on yourself, honestly. I don't think that you chased him out, per se.
Yeah.
I think he just had some different ideas on what he wanted to do, honestly.
Yeah. Also, getting hit by that acid the second time wasn't fun.
No, not at all. Thank you for holding my hand, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome, man. I always got your hand. Marcel grabs your hand. Always.
Okay, you can let go now.
Oh, but I got like a cool idea. I learned something when I was attacked by that acid the second time.
What's that?
Okay. Brace yourself. What if
Okay.
I use more magic?
I'm going to need you to elaborate,
Okay, you see how I don't really use that magic that much?
right?
Well, that's because I don't really have that much magic, or I can't really store a lot of magic. I'm not like a wizard or
Okay.
other people with magic. I just usually use my sword and stuff that doesn't cost much. Honestly, like those blasts I do, it's as easy as breathing, right?
Okay.
But I did come up with a couple of stuff after I got hit for the second time with the acid, because I felt like I was in this pure kind of restraining area of my own inner soul when I was knocked out. It was dark, cold, lonely, and all I could feel was nothing. And then with
Interesting.
that, I saw a light, a beautiful, bright light. And it was you guys getting me out of that hole. And that event, no matter how minor it is to you guys, to me, it really did give me a good way of moving forward. So,
I love that.
you want
So
to
what
see one of
is-
the cool stuff?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay, I need you to close your eyes.
Oh no, why do I have to close my eyes?
Because it's a surprise. So close your
Nothing
eyes.
ever good starts with close your eyes, Marcel.
Oh, well, like a gift. You know, sometimes I give gifts when you ask someone to close their eyes. That's pretty nice.
Okay. But you're about to do magic. Okay, I'm just gonna close my eyes.
Okay.
Alright, Lou closes his eyes.
And now he's going to cast a very, very non-painful spell on Leo. He grabs onto his sword, writes some stuff down, and he casts it on. Let's see if it works.
Anyone else confused? Is it just me?
Oh, can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you. I just want to know what the spell is.
Oh. There we go. Can you? I think you can make disadvantage since you're blind.
Actually, with him just allowing you to cast it on him, I'm going to say no save necessary. You cast Fairy Fire on him?
Yep.
What does that look like?
All right. He pulls out a sword, writes it down. You see 3 Marcels climb out of the sword. Tiny little guys. And then they all start dancing. And slowly and surely get closer and closer to Leo in a kind of like a Congo line kind of way. And then each 3 of them gets inside of him, and he becomes glowing like a purple disco ball. Now open your eyes, Leo.
What the fuck, Marcel? What is this?
Don't worry, it's temporary.
It's temporary.
But it
How
allows
long-
me to
how
actually hit you easier and hit my opponents easier.
Well, that's good. How long does this last?
Okay, I never actually had like a clock or time to measure, but it's not forever. I know that. So don't worry.
So I'm going to be
But-
glowing for the rest of the day, is what you're telling me.
No, maybe, most likely not, kind of. But first, cast dancing lights, and now there's 3 little Marcels dancing around you. Party! Marcel now dancing as well.
Athera,
And
as
also-
you approach from the hallway, you see this
Oh,
entire
no.
scene with a glowing purple light and a few tiny illusory dancing Marcels lighting up the hallway as Marcel is dancing in the hallway outside of Leo's room.
Hey, there, look, I'm doing much better now.
Thea, help me.
Oh my gosh, am I having a nightmare?
Oh, I got stronger. Because
thought
I
you were-
used
I
the power of friendship to understand my true self and gain knowledge.
What
Like this.
are those?
Oh, say hi. You see the little Marcels still keeps dancing. Okay, they can't really say hi. I can't change that, but still, they're dancing. They're. I think they're called dancing lights. I mean, come on, it's obvious, right? It's in the name, dancing lights.
I'm going to give you this. That was very clever, honestly. But I don't want to be glowing the rest of the day.
And as Leo says that, it's been practically a minute. Goes away.
Oh, perfect.
Leo, did you let him do that?
Martha actually turns to Athera. Funny enough, I could have turned it off the entire time, but I chose not to see how long it lasts. Wink, wink. And he says this out loud, so it's not like he's like whispering it.
How long did it last?
1 minute.
1 minute.
What's the purpose of this spell? Just dancing?
Oh, it allows me to hit you better. Or allow anyone else to hit the person better too.
And you cast this on Leo.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna hit Leo. We're best friends. But it's just show you. So when I do it on an enemy, you guys will get a better.
Because they'll be distracted by the dancing Marcels.
Well, I mean, it's hard to hide if you're a bunch of. Well, no, the dancing Marcel, that's just dancing light. That just looks cool. That's for aesthetics. The fairy fire, that's what I cast on Leo. That made him glow like a ball of purple light. That
You
flashes.
should have left that. You should have left that on him.
No.
It only
no,
lasts for a
we
minute,
shouldn't have.
sadly.
Oh. Leo, I
Believe
have
me, if there
something
was
for
a
you.
10-hour version, I would have definitely left on Leo.
Well,
What?
when you figure that out, you do that.
Okay, I will. We could be like a study group. We can all like test on Leo how to use that spell.
I don't think that's going to happen now.
Oh,
Better than testing on squirrels.
What?
we can't test the squirrels? Is that illegal?
Oh, you can't. Marcel, it's just like the trees. Do you forget the lesson we had?
Oh yeah, that growing leaves is very dangerous. Or I think that
No.
was that what we're supposed to talk about? Growing leaves.
No, that when we hurt the trees, they feel it.
As you guys are talking about this, you guys hear some footsteps approach and the voice of someone you guys have met before, Lucilda, call out, and she just says, "Who's growing leaves?"
Athera.
Athera,
Oh,
you're
very
growing
happy for her.
leaves?
Yeah, she's a druid.
Do
This
druids
is
do
not
that?
what I didn't come here for this.
I learned that too.
Hi,
Lucilda,
Lucilda.
hi.
Hey, Leo. Are your party members growing leaves? Did they come to you to heal that?
There's a lot going on here.
It seems like it.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
Yeah. I came because we were gonna study, right?
Can I join?
Yes.
Are we still doing
Yes.
that? I should have asked
Sure
and
thing.
clarified, but we did last week, so I just kind of assumed we would this week.
Yeah, sure thing.
Great.
Not a problem. Athera, why did you come? So much is going on right now.
I did not come for
Sorry.
this. Here, she's gonna like, she has like a pot with a little tulip in one hand, and then in the other there's this like daisy, and she's gonna be like, "This one's mine," and she hands out the daisy to you, but this is for you.
Thank
It's
you.
from someone, and she kind of looks at you. Do you want to know who it is?
Yes, I do.
It's me.
Thank you, Marcel.
You're
It's from
welcome,
me.
Leo. Best friend. Thank you, dear, for taking it to him.
Yeah, you're welcome. But before Marcel gave me this, it's actually from Hildegard.
Hildegard.
Leo, can you roll an insight check?
Sure.
I'll use the subject to gaslight him.
You gaslight your ally. Athera casts
It's a
Pass Without
9.
Trace on Zach's mic.
Yeah. Dang. Dave, that's how that feels. Got it. As he's rolling that, y'all are gonna hear another set of footsteps as Rosaris is gonna be walking up.
Loud set
The
of
whole
footsteps.
gang is coming.
Okay,
Like,
what'd you
looks over
get?
his shoulder.
What'd you get on
I,
insight, Leo?
I rolled a 9.
Oh dang.
A what?
A 9.
A 9. I thought you said a nun, and I was like, how is that possible?
Oh, you rolled a 9, did you,
Oh, this
Leo? I
changes
see.
things.
A nun is significantly better than a 6, so you notice that Lucilda immediately kind of seems off and just kind of like stammers over her words a little bit, and she's like, I'll meet you in the library whenever you're ready. I'll let you guys finish your group conversation. I'll catch you there. And she kind of quickly heads off. Not necessarily like super upset at this, but very awkward after that interaction. And she heads out as Rosaris walks up, and Lucilda looks at you and kind of gives you a little nod, seeing you for the second time today after classes.
Yeah. Oh, were we gonna study? You wanted to talk about religious studies, right, Lucilda?
Yeah, if you want to join, I kind of need help. Me and Leo have just been studying together, but having someone actually in the class would probably be great.
And I'm in the club.
Marcel's in the club.
Yeah. I have to talk with my party for a second. I'll bring Leo. I know he's generally gonna be late to our discussions.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'll be in the library whenever you need me. And she sort of like, with the side of her hand, like taps your armor and says goodbye and heads out.
Can I do an insight check just because?
I'm also doing an insight
Yeah,
check.
feel free.
I'm not.
Again,
I
she
trust.
rolled a 6 on deception.
I got a 17.
Damn.
I got a nat 20 for a 22.
Dude, yeah.
Congrats.
Alright.
Rosaris,
Way
even
too
though you're
bad, huh?
just walking up, you saw the interaction of like the flower, you heard the name Hildegard. Athera, you were there, so your DC is going to be lower. Both of you immediately pick up on the fact that Lucilda, like, as soon as it was stated that Hildegard gave Leo a flower, she got real awkward.
Aethera's gonna like look Leo in the eyes and be like, "Well, it looks like you only have one option now, so you better make good on this one." She's gonna give him the flower and say, "I suggest going to meet her and giving this back to her as a gift." And then
Giving the flower back to her?
Rosaris is gonna be less blunt. He's gonna walk up and be like, Lucilda likes you. She was upset. Do with that what you will.
I'm so happy for you, Leo. When are you gonna get married?
that's not. And Aethera's gonna like look up at Rosaris or over at Rosaris, but that's not. Lucilda's gone. It doesn't matter anymore. Hildegard gave you this flower.
Okay.
You must court
Hildegard
her.
gave me flower. Lucilda is awkward. This is so much. I'm
Yeah,
a little
you
overwhelmed.
good there.
Okay, and give Hildegard the flower back?
With a ring.
Not like you don't like it. As a like, here's a flower for you. Or you can just get her a new one. But you can't have my tulip.
Can you make me another one?
Another tulip?
Yes.
I can make you dancing Marcel's.
No, that's not going to work, myself.
Oh,
I really appreciate that, though. I will ask you the next
thank
time.
you.
Do you have some dirt?
Not on hand, no.
Some dirt.
Got some dirt.
It's just a
No
druid
dirt.
thing, you know?
I can't help you.
I guess we could.
Thera,
Go
isn't there
outside.
dirt outside? Yeah, there's dirt out. You walked
Yeah.
on dirt to get here.
Yeah, but there's
Wait.
not any in here.
Marcel
I
goes
have
under
other
his
things
shoe,
to do.
tries to scrape off some
You're
dirt.
the druid. Why would we have the dirt?
Here you go. Here's
I
some
don't
dirt.
just figure people keep pots in their rooms for plants.
Leo, do you keep a pot plant in your room?
I don't. There's no plants in here. I'm
Speaking
sorry,
of-
maybe I should
Show
put
up
some
eating a
plants in
mud-
here.
Eating a muffin. Can I show up?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find Rosari's.
Like
We're
I've,
here, guys.
I know I haven't made it like super clear, but you guys like are doing stuff out on campus. If you want to just your character shows up for whatever reason, that's your prerogative. So Gwen shows
Alright.
up eating a muffin.
Hi, Gwen.
Rosari's.
Yes, hi, Gwen.
You you still owe me a whole quiver full of arrows, yeah?
Yeah, I do. Sure. Where do we buy those at? Is there a place on campus?
Yeah, there's a store.
Well, yeah, I don't particularly look for arrows, so I don't know where they're at.
As you guys are having this conversation, like the four of you out in the hallway and Leo in his room, you guys see Billy, Nelvin, and Simon all walk past, and Billy just sort of like snort at you guys and just be like, "Those guys. Hey, losers.
What are you doing here?
I live here." Oh wait, we're at Leo's room, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, never
You
mind.
live in
Take back,
Leo.
take back everything I just said.
didn't know.
Like,
For
he
some
is-
reason,
he's
I
in
went
the
to
wrong
Marcel's
door.
room.
He's in the wrong.
Oh my God.
Billy was in the wrong building.
Look,
Leo, why didn't you tell? You should tell Hilda about this.
Leo's actually a
You need to
wizard.
know
What the
about
heck?
Billy.
You know what? Fuck it. Billy and them are actually there, and they were just like, we were
Hey,
actually
Barry.
here because. What did you call me?
Barry.
That's not my name.
He's not good with names. Don't worry about it.
What's his name?
Of course.
Billy. His name's Billy.
Oh, hey, Billy.
It's Billy. Thank you. Anyways, we were here because one of my friends, Leofric, we were going to see him. He's a druid and he's pretty competent at it. And he kind of glances at Athera whenever he does that.
You're friends with non-druid. I mean, not druids, wizards.
Well, friends is a loose term.
Oh, so you're not friends.
Okay.
So you went with what,
We
asking
go tell
him
your
like he's
friend
friends. Yeah, I'm worried why Leofric would be friends with Billy.
Listen, don't worry about it. Also, one of my party members lives in this building, so I'm making sure that he knows to be ready for our challenge this week. Anyways, I'm gonna head out of here. You losers, just stay out of our way, I guess.
You sure you didn't come here for another taste of lightning?
I'm gonna leave now.
Is there any plants in the hallways, or is there a door he's about to walk out that would be leading outside that I would be like nearby?
Just go outside.
Let me
Athena.
ask this.
I'm not gonna stalk him.
Carnegie Hall.
Are you sure about that?
All Am I correct? I'm trying to remember my own lore here. Athera, you live in Carnegie Hall, right?
I do. Yes.
Leo, you live in Carnegie Hall,
There's
right?
plants.
There would definitely be
Yes.
plants like out in the hallway from like druids hanging them up and decorating the place. Absolutely.
Okay.
Nice.
I would like to use Druidcraft to have a vine come out of like a plant that's like sitting potted and just wrap around his leg without him knowing, so when he goes to walk it trips him.
He rolls a 6 on his perception and does not notice as a vine just ever so gently wraps around his leg as he's kind of flustered and he's like, "Listen, I don't like you, but I'm not trying to start a fight. You don't need to go all crazy in here. I'm gonna leave now." Leogrin.
Whoa, wait a minute. You can't call her crazy. That's my job. All right?
Wait,
Try. It's fine.
wait, you
Let him
get
walk
paid
away.
calling someone crazy?
Yeah.
Billy side eyes
Yo.
Marcel and he begins to walk off and then trips and manages to catch himself before like face planting, but like stumbles and catches himself on the wall, takes the little vine off and he's like, "Ugh."
Ooh,
druids.
careful there.
And then
Don't
as they
forget how to
leave,
walk.
"Goodbye," as he leaves.
Fuck you,
Bye.
Billy.
Nice to
Nelvin.
Kieran.
Why do you think I
No.
hate Aethera so much? It's because I get paid for it.
Nelvin sort of
Hey.
waves to Marcel, like after Billy's walked past, and he's just like, "Hey, dude."
Oh, how you doing, man? Just have a great time.
And then they walk off, just leaving you guys in the hallway.
Nice people. I like
I
our
really
school.
like them. I really like them.
I need to learn a punch.
So, weren't we talking about like a flower?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
right. You wanted me to make you a tulip.
Yes. Can you make other flowers as well, or is it just that one?
No,
Like
I
a
can
rose?
make other flowers. I just need to
A
have
a
like
sunflower?
seen the flower before. A sun? Do you have a picture?
Marcel grabs
I
a
may
pen
have one
and
that's
makes like the
export.
worst looking sunflower ever.
Oh no.
Here.
Oh boy.
Make it
So,
better than that. Please.
What's going on here exactly?
We're making
We're trying to get
flowers.
Leo courted.
What?
Yo,
What?
I still need dirt. We're either going to
Yeah, you can't get courted without dirt.
Yeah, so we either have to go outside or you have to pull dirt out from somewhere.
Okay. Let's go get some dirt.
Okay.
I mean, isn't there like a lot of plants around here? Can you just grab some dirt from that?
Steal another plant's dirt, that's rude.
True.
He turns to Rosaris. Is it rude? Really?
I mean,
I
a
don't
little.
know. I don't want to deal with the dirt. I just want Leo. Here's your armor back, but also, Leo, we're still on to train on Wednesday, right?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay,
And
you
thank
and
you for my
Matilda.
armor.
Yes. And then Marcel, I was actually curious, and Aethera and Gwen, you were both welcome, but it's more like martial training with swords. Marcel, I was thinking of getting you, me, and Kieran to fight. I have some upperclassmen that might want to fight. Would you be interested?
Oh, yeah, sure.
What if during your training, I just like shoot random arrows at whoever's fighting?
If I get you the quiver of arrows before then, will you not shoot at us while we're training?
I don't know. I feel like it would give you extra training because you not only are you fighting your opponent, but you're looking out around you. You know?
That actually makes sense.
If you use blunt
See, thank
arrows,
you,
I
Aethera.
will allow it. I
Wait,
prefer not.
can I do this too?
Y'all do as you need.
Can I start firing Eldritch Blast as well? I can fire that blast.
It's
like all of
largely
us can just.
It's largely focused on sword fighting, but you know,
Yeah, it's all just ranged gang against the enemies.
I like it.
yeah. So, Gwen, how much is a quiver of arrows? I'll just give you the gold so I can leave.
Did you maybe want to buy like an extra one with blunt ends?
Sure. How much? Just give. I have some gold. Just how much do you need to let me leave?
40.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What?
I'm sorry,
much
Gwen,
I-
I tried.
How much actually are they? Anything Marcel
I don't
gives you is high.
I think they're one gold
Um,
for a pouch of 20.
Yeah, that was just one gold.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
I'm just gonna
2
give
gold.
2 gold. Okay, and I'm gonna pull out some gold and I'm just gonna give it to her, and I'll say like, we'll be in the training hall on Wednesday right after classes. Whoever's welcome to
Alright.
come. Try not to kill us while we're training. Makes
I do
Leo's
not
job
make
harder.
promises. Yes, I do. You trust me. I trust you. We all trust each other. We're from a family of trust. You're all my family now.
That's a show.
Okay, well, y'all have fun with dirt. I'm gonna go talk to Kieran. Never thought I'd say that.
Aethera's gonna
Talking
turn
to Kieran or the dirt part?
Both, I guess. Both.
Well, have fun, Rosaris.
Thank you for the armor.
Yeah,
You're
no
welcome.
problem. He's gonna walk off, very confused as to what all just happened.
I'm gonna turn to Leo and be like, all right, do you want me to grow you a flower? Because I have a book to go read.
Yes, please. We can go get some dirt.
But we just have to go outside.
Okay, perfect.
Do you
Are
have,
you
do you,
familiar
what
with
flower do you
orchids?
want?
Orchids?
Do you have a pic?
Oh, I get it. Orcs. So orchid. That's funny.
I'm sure there's got to be one on this hall somewhere. Is there maybe like one of these flowers? Here?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you walk through the hall, and like there's a lot of decorations in this hall because not only do you have the bards, but you also have the druids. So this is a very pretty, nice, well taken care of hall. You literally just like walk down the hall a little bit until you see like a potted like flower plant, and you're like, that's an orchid.
Yes, this one right here.
Dude, oh, that's what you call it. Yes, I can make
Wait,
one
what
of
do you
those. I've
call
been
it?
studying it.
Perfect.
I didn't come up with a name for it yet, Marcel.
Oh,
I wanted to figure out its name. Orchids. Do you have a particular color that you want?
No. What would you give to someone like this whole
Purple.
situation?
Do I have any insight into, like, based on what she was wearing, like if she has a favorite color?
Ooh. I'm gonna let you
Insight
make.
for a woman.
I'm gonna let you make an investigation check with a very high DC.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
If you get above a 20, I will tell you what color would be
That's
most effective
insane.
here. This is the most like low stakes, high DC roll ever.
wait, what are you guys rolling?
8.
An 8. She likes pretty colors, bright colors.
Purple.
I'm gonna like. Okay, well, I'll just make you one, and then you tell me if you like it, and if you don't, I'll make you a different color.
Sure. That sounds good.
Okay, I'll lead us outside, just right outside the building, and then I'll make a flower. And
Gwen, they just left us.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. They're our friends.
whatever.
I just wanted to see what was going on.
You wanna go outside?
Yeah!
Yeah, let's go outside. Leo,
Hells
Adira,
yes,
we're
let's go.
coming.
I'm gonna go ahead and grow an orchid, and it's gonna be a very like soft, almost violet purple, with like kind of an ombre where the center is lighter, and then the further ends of the petals are a darker purple. What do you think about
This
this?
is super pretty. I love it.
I think it will complement her complexion very nicely.
I like it. So, do I give this to her now, or do I wait like a day or something? Isn't there like rules to engagement here?
Yeah, you have to
I'm the
wait
wrong
72
person to ask.
hours and fight against 3 different monsters.
That's what I
No,
thought.
not that.
Oh. Wait.
I don't know. Gwen, do you know?
Wait, so you're giving a flower to someone?
Well, she gave me a flower first, and then Athera suggested that I give her one back.
But what about all the time we spent in the woods, Leo? Me
Yeah,
carrying
Leo.
you back?
It holds a very special place in
I'm just
my
fucking with
heart.
you. I'm just fucking with you, Leo. Don't
That's
worry.
good. Okay.
I wasn't.
Yeah. What do you suggest, Gwen?
I think she'd probably like it if you gave it to her as soon as you could.
So right away, are we in agreement that right away is the best course of action here?
I mean, the flower's freshest now. If you wait a day, it's gonna be wilty.
That's so true. Okay.
Ooh,
Noted.
wait, it's gonna be a
Um,
full moon? Good, full moons would be pretty cool. Give it on a full moon and stuff. Kind of pretty.
Right. Should I send someone else to give it to her? Would that be?
Ooh,
Is that
Give it
how
to
we
me.
do this?
I'll gladly send it
Nah,
to
do
her.
it
No.
personally.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. And where was
Sorry,
she?
Marcel.
Marcel, we can go give somebody else a flower. Who do you want to give a flower?
Myself.
Do you want me? And I'm gonna make him the sunflower that he pictured, that he drew, and it's gonna look not quite like a real sunflower because I'm going off his drawing.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, here, you can give that to yourself.
It looks like the sunflowers I just see in my youth. Because that's what I can remember to draw in my youth.
Where was Hildegard?
I mean, she lives in your hall.
Oh, so she's
Yeah,
here.
so you could easily find her room. So I'm gonna say
Okay,
if this group is dispersing, let's actually shift the attention really quick, and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Rosaris, you go to seek out Kieran. What is Kieran doing? I know he's got a couple of things on his mind. He's got a couple different plans cooking right now. What's Kieran doing on a Monday afternoon? I know he's got some things that he might have wanted to study.
So Kieran has acquired a couple books. Nothing crazy that needs to have a diversion or anything, but he has acquired a book on fencing from a library of some sort.
Absolutely.
It might have been someone's bag. Depends if you saw someone have it or not. Just some easy thefts. So he's just kind of reading those and he's practicing his stance, looking at it. He's like, "This feels weird. I feel exposed. Like, shouldn't I be hiding or something? I don't quite get this." And
is this
kinda,
in the
like,
library?
No, this is in his room. He's just
Okay.
kind of like practicing, looking in a mirror, trying to like perfect his mustache. He's like, "Is the mustache a part of the stance? All these men have perfect mustaches. I think I need to practice that." And he just keeps on guard kind of thing until he gets tired.
For sure. What other books did you check out? Because I know you told me that you had a very specific thing that you wanted to look into.
So Kieran also was trying to figure out about, he was talking to Athera about it, but she didn't seem like she wanted to help him at all. He's just trying to figure out how the hell magic works. It's like he's trying to practically figure out magic without actually trying to figure out magic.
I got you. Okay, so did you picked up some books on the basics of magic and stuff like that?
Yeah, Cantrips for Cowards, that was one of the books I grabbed. Yeah, he's just trying to figure out, he's looking for that specific spell, Vicious Mockery too. He's just digging through and he's like, "I must insult people to hurt them.
Yeah.
This would be so useful on the battlefield."
I'm going to say between those books specifically, at least at a first glance, the best that you could find out is the closest that you're looking into is wizards can brute force learn spells just by studying them, which is different than most classes. And then bards, which are kind of what you're more leaning towards here, they are more of there's still a little bit of understanding magic that comes with it and practice, but it's a lot more innate. It's almost like you desire an effect and you will it to exist through some sort of performance or art. And bards come in many shapes and sizes, and I'm going to actually give you a choice here. In your message to me before, you said that you did want to specifically look into how bards overlap with kind of big epic poems and fighters and things like that. Where's the overlap there between your skills as not necessarily a fencer, but a rogue and bards? Is that true or incorrect? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, he's trying to find a good spot where he can, don't have to learn a whole new thing. He wants to find something that it naturally fits with him.
Mm-hmm. If that's the case, I'm trying to think of how you would best find this. In your kind of looking for books and stuff like that, maybe talking with the librarian as you were getting these books, she helped point you in a direction of one of the professors. Not a book, but a professor. One of the bard professors is actually known for being pretty talented in combat, too. So if you wanted to find him, his name is Professor Calamon. And then she also gave you book recommendations that you took with you. So you kind of have a lead to go on with that. But as you're sitting there practicing your fencing technique, I'm assuming this is whenever Rosaris would kind of knock on the door and see how you're doing.
As he knocks on the door, I'm gonna quickly fling a dagger at it out of just complete, just how I'm used to doing things. Just muscle reflex, toss the dagger at the door.
I'm gonna hear it thud and be like, "How'd you know it was me?"
That was a lucky guess. Did I hit you in the head?
And you'll hear a slight sliding on the door as I'm trying to guess where it hit and measure it, and I would say, 3 inches off, I think.
Oh God! Next time, Stand up 3 inches to the side for me, please. Save us all some troubles. What would you like, though, Suri?
We did pretty well. One, is the door open at this point? Or are we still talking through the door?
I don't know. Is it open?
That's up to you. This is your room.
I'll unlock the door and I'll open it up and I'll have my rapier at my side. And what do you want, sir?
You'll see him look at your rapier and say, "Ah, good, you're practicing. There's an opportunity for us to train together on Wednesday if you'd like to join. It'll be you, me, Marcel, perhaps another underclassman up against a few upperclassmen."
If only I one-on-one with you.
Won't be much of a fight, but we can do that prior to or just after if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely much of a fight. I saw you on the battlefield the other day.
You're a little bit smaller than an ankheg, and there's only one of you.
I know, I had to take 2 down to even get close to you.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Wednesday.
Sounds good. Right after classes. Training hall.
Right after classes.
Alright. Versaris is just gonna almost like militaristically like nod his head and then about face and walk out. Like, this was a mission's done, headed out.
Absolutely. And with that, Rosari's leaving Kieran. Our other ones. Leo, you were going to find Hildegard, correct?
Yes.
You go down to her room, knock on the door, and you probably actually don't hear a response come from inside.
All right. I guess. Yeah.
As you're sitting there waiting for a minute, kind of like seeing if she responds, a first year actually walks up. Someone who you might have seen around. Her name's Gwanlyn. She's in the druid studies. She walks up to you and is like, "Hey, are you looking for me?"
I was actually looking for Hildegard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's probably down at Rorsch Plaza right now if you want to find her there. She spends a lot of time studying and practicing there.
Sure.
Or,
Thank you
I
so
mean,
much.
if you want to wait till later, I could tell her that you were looking for her.
I'll take a look over there and see if she's there, and then if not, then I will come back later. Or
Cool.
you can let her know that I was here.
If she comes back anytime soon, I will let her know. I'll ask her about it.
Alright. Thank you so much.
And she gives you a nod and opens the door to her room and closes it. And do you go search in Rorsch Plaza, or are you gonna let that ride for now?
I'm gonna go look, see if she's there. If she's not there, then I'll head to study.
Sure. You go down to Rorsch Plaza, you wander around for a little bit, and eventually through one of the classroom windows, you see her like sitting up on a, not like a bookshelf, but like a dresser thing, like messing with some plants and, you know, druid crafting, and flowers are blooming, and she's setting them back on the shelf, taking another one and taking care of them. So you like see her through the window, and she does not see you.
Oh. Is there other people in there also?
There's a couple people like walking around, but no one in that room.
Okay. Is it like closed off? Do I need to knock?
Right. I'm gonna say right now you're actually outside of the building, looking through like the outside window, but you could walk around inside and go into the classroom if you wanted to, or you could go up to the window.
I'm gonna go ahead and walk around. I'm gonna take a deep breath and walk around into the classroom, but I'm gonna hold the flower behind my back.
As you take a deep breath, hold the flower behind your back, and begin to walk into the room, the door swings open a lot easier than you expected it to, and then Hildegard bumps face first into you and then backs up, and she's just like, "Oh my,
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm
That's
just gonna
good.
pull out the flower from behind him and hand it to her.
That is exceptionally pretty. I like it. Is that for me?
Yes, it's for you. I got your flower.
You see,
earlier
she
today.
tries not to let her expression change, but like her face lights up and her cheeks get a little pink despite the fact that her skin is green. And she very gingerly accepts it. And she's like, I love it. It is amazing. It's so pretty.
Good. I'm glad. I wasn't sure
Do you want to get
what I should.
lunch together sometime?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Cool. Tomorrow?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Perfect.
And it doesn't have to be just us together. I could just like sit at your table with your friends, or you could. I kind of just sit with people randomly. It's up to you.
We can sit together. We don't have to sit with them.
Awesome.
Well, this was lovely.
Mhm.
I guess I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing.
Right. Yeah, I was actually just about to leave, so we could walk up to campus together.
Sure.
Great. Okay, let's go. And then she kind of like begins walking with you, closes the door behind her, and you guys begin walking back up to campus. And as you guys approach like the main gate, there's a little bit of an awkwardness between you two. Like she doesn't really know what to talk about, and she kind of small talk. But as you guys get to the main campus, she looks and she's like, so where are you headed right now?
I'm actually going to study with some friends that
Awesome.
I promised I would study with.
Yeah, I could walk you to wherever you're going.
Sure. I don't want you to have to go out of your way or anything.
No, that's fine. I was probably gonna head back to my room, I guess. I don't really have much else to do today, but you know, I like the library. It's fun. If that's where you're going.
Yeah, that's where I'm going, right?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, that's where I'm going. Definitely.
Great. Okay, yeah, let's go. And she walks you up to the library. Do you bring up anything specific? Like, what do you guys talk about on the way there?
I guess Leo's just gonna like ask where she's from, I guess.
As you walk up, you ask her that, and she's like, "Oh, I'm from a city called Mountain Pass. It's over in Eventide, way off to the west. It's not massive. It's not too small. I like it. It's fun. Plus, Eventide is gorgeous. What about you? You know, half-orcs aren't super common.
No, I'm from a place called Stonewall. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I think the name sounds familiar. I don't know where it is though. You see her like she is holding this flower and like slightly fidgeting with it and like messing with the stem and druid crafting it to make it like bloom a little bit more. She's like, where's it at?
It's hey, so where is it at, DM?
From where you guys are, it is kind of east northeast. It's up in the Wisterian Mountains, kind of separated from Ilium. It's actually not too far away from the school in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's probably closer than her home. But it's still not super close.
And that's exactly what I relayed to her.
Then you tell her, yeah, at the end of the Wisterian mountain range, you know, out past Ilium, it's up in the mountains. I had to travel down and west to get here. And she's like, oh, that's super cool. I've kind of been to the mountains a little bit, but I'm not always allowed to go because the mountains near my home are dangerous and stuff like that. But that's really cool. And at this point, you guys walk into the library. And who all was going to the library? I know Lysilda was. I think Rosari's was as well.
Yeah, Rosari's and Lysilda out. Like you would walk in and you'd see Rosari's like halfway through the religious studies text, and Lysilda's like on the first page. And it's like, no, you got to keep up, Lysilda. Like this is where you're behind on the reading.
At that point, you two walk in, and Lysilda like hears the door open and looks up and see the two of you walk in, and immediately her eyes shoot back down, and she's just like, "Shut up, Rosaris," and starts flipping through some pages.
I'm assuming I don't have to make an insight check to
No.
know what. Okay, good. I'm just while those two are talking, I'm just gonna gently like pat her on the shoulder really quickly, and then say like, "I'm still rooting for you two."
She gives you a soft sort of smile, and she just says, "I appreciate you. If you pat me again, I will smite you."
Sounds like you want to take part in the training on the offensive side, not the healing side, on Wednesday.
I'm down for some training. That sounds fun.
And then I look at her and I like pat her very intentionally like 3 times, staring at her.
She stares into your eyes, and you swear for a second you feel like a slight static in the air, as like in the way that your magic manifests of those names lighting up, this is probably her equal to that, where like a little bit of almost static electricity begins to form in the air around her, and she like stares daggers into your eyes, and she says, "Great, I will be there Wednesday." And
I think as soon as Rosaris feels the static electricity, like something flips in his brain, and he's all of a sudden like very standoffish, like just says, "Sorry, let's get back to work," and like he shuts down the conversation at that point.
Yeah, and at which point you notice her like look down back at the book, and then continues to glance up as Leo and Hildegard sort of approach. And Leo, you and Hildegard walk up, and she's like, "All right, well, here we are. I'll let you get to studying, and thanks for the flower. I'm gonna go see if I can't find any books to entertain myself with."
Sure. I'll see you tomorrow.
"Great, I'll see you at lunch tomorrow." And she kind of dances off a little bit. And at which point, Lysilda doesn't even look up from the book. She's just like, "Hey, Leo. So glad that you could join us. We've been here for like 20 minutes waiting for you."
I told you he'd be late.
I'm sorry. All right, let's get to it.
Yeah. All right. So, Rosaris, tell me what I'm missing here. Leo can tell you. We don't have a lot of information about the rest of the Pantheon and Stonewall. Can you just like break it down? And I don't mean dancing. I mean, how do we have to get these first 2 chapters done, but all of this is just egregious amounts of information that I am trying to swallow and process.
You're still just on the first 2 chapters?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you? You said you're not familiar with the other members of the Pantheon, right?
Do you know
who like sort of the bigger 3 gods are?
Yeah, I couldn't give you their formal names if I wanted to, but I know it's, God of the Sun, God of the Earth, Goddess of the Moon, or Goddess of the Earth.
Yeah, so Baran, Penthea, and Aurelia.
Uh-huh. Bless you.
Thank you. Why? I think for once, like, Rosaris is stumped because it's like, this is, like, for him, it's so basic. It would be like Etheria trying to teach Rosaris how to wild shape. Like, she would be so frustrated. Or like Marcel teaching Rosaris how to Eldritch Blast. Like, it's something they can do so basic that's like, you should know how to do this. And this is sort of like his sort of thing. So he's just like, sort of their control. What is Corteus's domain? What is he the god of?
I mean, he's not necessarily the god of anything. He has things that he represents. Like, she kind of looks over to Leo and just gestures at him. She's like, lightning is a big thing because it's very fast and powerful and decisive and definite. It doesn't really second guess, and that's his whole big thing is, knowing what is right and acting on it very quickly, striking with power. You get the idea. So it's kind of like he's associated with lightning, not just for mythos reasons and for like history, but also because it resembles his beliefs.
Yeah. Well, so you kind of understand like the gods are associated with different things because that's sort of what they do. That's part of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, Aurelia. Sorry, you can say bless you again if you'd like. Aurelia is the goddess of the moon, but she's associated with like almost like the ocean, the night, and things like that. Like she's not the goddess of that or anything, but because the moon's associated with the waves and all of that, sometimes it gets associated. Just like lightning, Cortez isn't the god of lightning, but he's like swift, enacts justice, that sort of thing.
Okay. So by that same logic, Paran is the god of the sun, so he's like super powerful and life is from him and fire.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I guess it's starting to click a little bit more. I still need to spend some time on the other ones, but I think I can skip forward to chapter 3 and I'll pick up on the rest later, because I know sometime this week we have to do our we have to pick one of these poems and go over it in class. Have you picked one yet?
Yes, I have actually. It's poem number 4, A Sailor's Tale.
She flips through her book to the second half of it, and she says, "Okay, interesting. Why that one? I'll pick a different one."
I have a good reason for picking it. I'm interested to see what Arihilal says.
Gotcha. Well, can you help me pick one and come up with an explanation for it?
Sure. Well, let me see. Over the table, I am trying to search through this.
Sure, that's fine. Marcel, tell us a joke.
Okay. Now, look to yourself. You think really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get better. I'm going to get stronger. And then the inflection tells you, I'm sorry. And it just falls over and the mirror cracks. That's the joke.
That does not sound like a joke. That sounds incredibly dark and sad.
But it did buy me enough time to find the poem. So.
I didn't even...
I think Rosaris is going to flip back, and he's finally going to find the one he wants, and it's going to be poem number 19, which is the message from the Church of Cortez in response to the fall of Plasar.
Ooh.
And I think Rosaris is going to say that knowing like Leo and Lysilda are going to look at him like, "Oh, you're trying to blame us," and I'm going to say, "No, like, say this from a Church of Cortez, as a member of the Church of Cortez. Reflect on it. You may be the only person in that class that has that ability to see it from a different perspective."
Okay, so, and she flips to it and she also starts reading through it, and I will read out what it says, and also I'm going to show it on the Roll20. But it says, the title is A Message to All. The author is Father Idel Izabar, and the date was in the month of Hamis 1213. And it says, "A message to all. Those recent inquisitions are not sanctioned by us here at the church. Our god Cortez advocated for advancements on evil. We believe those men and women were led astray by that same very evil. My heart goes out to Plasar, and if they would have it, I would offer any assistance that I may be to those families in need. Signed by Father Idel Izabar of the Church of Cortez." And then in the little information box down there, she reads through it, and it says, in response to the fall of Plasar, Father Edel Izabar, head of the Church of Corteus in Stonewall, released this open letter. So I'm going to say that she reads that out, and how does Leo respond to that? Both, like, what does he think, and does he have any, like, body reactions? Like, does he perk up and listen to that? What's the vibe there?
He definitely perks up and he's listening very intently to this. But for the most part, I don't think he shows any type of reaction outwardly, but I guess in his head is kind of racing.
Yeah. This is definitely something that you have already known about, so it's not like it comes as a shock to you, but it's almost like surreal to hear a person you spent so long with growing up, their work in a book that your friend is studying at the school.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I've never seen him as a figure or as a, bigger person. You know him on a personal level, and this is a very formal side of him.
Right.
But after Lucilda reads that, she's like, cool, so I just talk about how I kind of knew him in person and could, relate that to what he's saying.
Yeah, I think explaining it from your perspective, you were not, may have been alive, but you weren't conscious of anything that happened, but maybe how the church has responded to those events. I know I personally would enjoy hearing that myself.
Mm-hmm. Cool, I can do that. This will at least get the homework done, and I'll spend some more time reading the other stuff. Cool. Well, I guess this was a very productive day, and she sort of like glares over at Leo. She says, I'm gonna go train a little bit. My sword is begging to be swung right now, and I would rather not do that in a library full of books, so I'll see you guys later. And she stands up and puts her books in her bag and waves goodbye to you all.
When she leaves, like, she's out of earshot, right?
Yeah, she walks off and is gone.
I'm going to turn to Rosaries and I'm going to be like, I fucked up, didn't I?
If you're asking my opinion, I would say you've known Lucilda for a fair amount of time. I'm going to guess that she's made it pretty clear, but I think both you and I know we're not the best at reading those emotions, maybe?
Right.
So I think, yeah, you probably did, yeah.
Yeah, I regret walking in here with Hildegard.
With the new girl when you're meeting, almost like your ex, maybe?
Right.
Or maybe now an ex?
We never... I mean, for the most part, I thought we were just friends. I didn't...
Leo, I'm going to be honest. She threatened to smite me because I was trying to comfort her. She's really ticked at you. I think she thought y'all had a thing going on.
Oh, I was not aware.
Like, the air of electricity was not like a metaphorical thing. Like, she legitimately almost smited me with electricity. Like, the air was literally charged. It was not like a metaphorical sense. If you need help, like, look, you're a grown half-orc. You can decide your own relationship stuff. But if you need help with Lucilda, one, she's going to take it out on me, apparently, so I would be more than happy to help you. But also, she's a paladin, and I tend to like to protect other paladins.
Right.
So
Okay.
if you need help with her, I can help. It seems like Aethir is more than happy to help you with, what was her name? Hildebrand or something?
Hildegard.
Oh, Hildegard, that's right, sorry. And with no insight needed, you would know that like he intentionally got her name wrong. But if you need help with Lucilda, perhaps be nice to her on Wednesday when we're training.
Right. Oh, I want to be nice to her anyway. I didn't
Oh,
know that.
maybe
she,
go-
you know.
Maybe get her. Well, you have to decide. Are you gonna go after Hildebrand, or are you gonna go after, Lysilda that you've known Hildegard, sorry, that you've known for a while?
Why not both?
Understood.
Thruple?
Okay, I will.
Don't let the voices in your head get to you. Don't listen.
Don't let the little Marcel on your shoulder get to you.
Everybody in the party has like a little evil Marcel and a little good Marcel, but they're actually both just chaotic.
Yeah, they're both chaotic evil. It's just one paints it a different way.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I will.
That's what we're purple.
I will think. I will reflect on this, and then I'll figure something out. But I appreciate everything, Osiris.
Yeah. The little I know, Lysilda, she's a good friend,
Cool.
and I think it would be a mistake to reject her friendship on top of whatever else she had in mind.
Right. I would never reject her friendship.
So that's my advice. Yeah, I'm not the best with these things. You seem to have missed that she liked you, so I'm just trying to help you out.
Right. Well, clearly I'm not good at this, so. But
You're doing better than I am, I think.
I try. Again, I appreciate you. Let's get out of here.
Yeah,
As you guys depart from the library and head out, we're about to take a break, but before we do that, I have one more small thing for Leo. You've been in this really interesting situation that maybe some of our party members can relate to, maybe they can't, but we've established that Leo is kind of seeking guidance a little bit, feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit out of place. He's far from home for the first time ever, and he's used to having this mentor figure that he could rely on for, what do I do in this situation? What is the wise thing to do? And now for the first time, you're having to make those decisions alone. And especially in a moment of turmoil like this. Not only was the combat both physically and metaphorically a little scarring, a little damaging, but now you're having girl issues and you don't know what to do about it, and Rosarius is trying to help the best he can. But you have another dream, like the one you had the other night. It starts pretty much the exact same, with you out on Lake Isoline. Sky is cloudy. It's not dark, but it's kind of gray outside. You hear the faint rumbling of thunder off in the distance. As you're sitting there looking out across the lake, for some reason, without you even needing to think about it, your feet turn to leave and you begin walking back from the lake up to campus. And in almost the flash of an eye, there you are, walking back into the main academy building. Time just seeming to skip. As you walk through the halls of the academy building and exit out into the courtyard, the school is empty and cold, and you hear that faint rumbling of thunder, but no people are talking. There's no one on campus. It's just you. As you go out into the courtyard, you hear very, very faint whispering emanating from just like the corners of your perception, from like the walls of the school and the trees in the courtyard. You stop sort of in the center and look around, trying to pinpoint these voices. And instead, from where you were just walking from, you see yourself. Can you give me an insight check with advantage?
Sure. Highest was a 10.
Ooh. I mean, luckily it's yourself. On a 10, you don't know how to place it, but you know yourself kind of better than anyone else, even if you don't think you do. You see this copy or visage, this clone of yourself standing there, facing away from you, and as you are sitting there observing it, he turns to look a little bit over his shoulder, not quite meeting your gaze, but like he's listening to you. And the aura around him, you can't figure out why, but for some reason he just seems so much more strong and confident. He seems very sure of himself. almost more wise and, I guess in a word, powerful. You can feel the air crackling around him as he turns to look at you and just stands there silent. And you still hear these like voices whispering out from the corners of your ears.
Leo's not going to say anything. He's just going to observe and see if this guy does anything.
Sure. Describe your body language as you're observing him. Sort of, where do you look? What do you do?
I guess very slowly he looks around. His body's tense. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what's going on or what this is that he's supposed to be seeing. He's just kind of, I guess, lost in the moment.
Yeah. As you're sitting there just taking this in, again, you being tense, you take just a step closer and this copy of you does the same, and you guys walk just a couple feet closer to each other. He has a completely different aura. He is not tense. He is somehow both relaxed yet ready to strike at any moment, if that makes sense. Like, he is not relaxed and comfortable. He is relaxed and confident. And you tilt your head to the side to sort of look at him, and his head tilts the same way, and you guys look at each other. And almost without thinking, your hand begins to reach up, and his does too. And before your hands can reach, you hear another crack of thunder, and you wake up in a sweat at the middle of the night.
What's this going on? And he kind of like, I guess, starts to like grab something to like wipe the sweat away.
Yeah, you wake up and sort of jolt awake, and your roommate Sivik, who was kind of like half snoring, he just peeks his head up and looks at you, his hair all matted and distraught, and he just goes, "Are you good? Are you okay?"
Yeah, I think so. Go back to sleep. It's nothing. Just a bad dream.
Okay. And he slams his face back into the pillow and starts snoring again.
Perfect. I guess Leo's gonna try to. He's probably gonna get up, walk around for a second, just to kind of like shake everything off before he tries to like go back to bed and try to get some more sleep if he can.
Yeah, I'll say that you walk out of your room and wander the halls for a little bit, and eventually, calm down a little bit, go back to bed, and you sleep. And that's where we'll take a break. We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.
Welcome back. For this next part, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to introduce someone new. Not a full-time party member, but a real-life friend of mine who made a character in this setting and has played it, who was willing to aid the party in the things that they seem to be struggling with a little bit. So, it is without further ado that I'm going to show off everybody Zach 2.0, aka Zachy, aka Zachy Poo, aka Sir John Luke III.
Hello
The
there.
card?
Hey.
Hi, other Zach.
Hey, other Zach.
Everybody's saying hi to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Hi,
I think
Zach.
good. Hello, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, honestly.
Thank
So I know not everyone here has talked to new Zach before, but again, he has a character who you will soon be introduced to, who might be a recurring NPC, not really NPC, to the party. So,
We'll see.
without further ado, I say let's get started. You're gonna start by going about your classes. You're a second-year paladin student. Would you like to
Indeed.
describe how John Luke looks to us?
John Luke, well, first of all, have you seen Shrek 2? I'm assuming. Prince Charming. Beautiful, flowing blonde hair. Almost a golden plate armor set. A long flowing cape. Very wealthy. I'm sure he has that stereotypical mole somewhere on his cheek. And always smiling, and loud and bombastic and ready to go about his day. I guess overly concerned about himself. John Luke III, that is, anyways. Likes to talk about himself, likes to talk about his family, his castle, you name it. Always thinks he's the best. You may have seen him wrestling a bear or two and winning.
Sure. You get kind of pulled aside after class one day by Professor Tarada, who, not a big deal to you. He's all right, you guess, but you know, nobody lives up to you. He couldn't have mastered Eastern or Western style, and you have mastered both.
Neither.
He pulls you aside after class one day and he says, "Hey, John.
Uh-huh.
So I know this year your party's having a couple kind of struggles to really let me rephrase that. I have a task for you.
Uh-huh.
There is a group of first years who I
Mhm.
think could really use some direction, and I think your talents would really lend well
Which direction?
upwards,
All right, upwards.
metaphorically.
I know that direction. I don't know that one, but
So let me just put this very plainly for you. You are, if nothing else, a pretty good leader. People seem
yes,
to...
pretty. I am pretty.
And a leader.
Yes.
People seem to gravitate towards you and enjoy your presence, and your party is one of the few that really maintains a very strong friendship between all of you.
Ah, indeed. Zerathon is my best friend. Poppy, besides the bear traps, she's a good friend as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, speaking of that, this group is having some issues forming those connections and those friendships, and I would like for you to mentor them at least until the end of the party games. So, you know, just for a week or two.
Well, these poor children.
I think most of them are. Actually, one of them, the redhead, he seems to have a penchant for losing all of his money.
Professor Tortilla, say no more. Say no more. I will make sure these poor children have the best semester they've ever had. It will be so wonderful, they'll drown in happiness. He storms out, and before he slams the door, he turns around and says, "They'll drown in it!" And slams the door and runs
After
away.
the door slams, you hear like the very he doesn't even yell, he just says it, and you hear like a whisper from inside, and he's just like, I really hope he doesn't actually drown them. And with that, John Luke goes about his business, and we'll come back to him. Next up on the agenda, our party has kind of been going around throughout the week, getting various things done, a lot of personal tasks, a lot of flirting, a lot of drama. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. As of right now, there is not a training session planned for Wednesday afternoon. All of you sort of have a hand in this, but it seems like Rosaries was kind of taking lead on this. He kind of helped plan it. Who all is going to that training session? Because it is by no means mandatory, but you have all been invited.
Well, Marcel's definitely gonna go because he'd be like, "Look, we're a team. We're all friends."
I'm going so I can shoot people.
Yeah,
I'm going because I'm curious.
I guess I'm going. I don't know if I had to say that.
Yeah, I don't think you have to, by any means.
Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. Got it.
Cool.
Good night.
You got a tummy
you know what,
achy
guys? Let's all just go
stain as
sleep.
well.
I ate too much cake. I have a tummy cake.
I ate too much cookies.
Oh my god. Okay. So I think the only one who I don't know if I heard you is Kieran going.
Sorry?
Kieran is going, right? Because he's training with Rosaris.
He has to beat Rosaries.
Exactly.
He has to go.
So it sounds like the entire party is going. What NPCs are going? I know Rosaris, Zach, you said that you wanted to sort of seek out a couple of people. Professor Torrada, or Tortilla, known by some, is going to send an upperclassman to you guys, but do you specifically invite anyone else? I think Lasilda said she was joining.
I think if Beatrice wants to be there, she can. I think we would be training right before this for one of our classes, but she also has other homework, so she wanted to stay. But specifically, I know he would send another upperclassman, but I want to look for the Echo, the girl from our first training challenge thing.
Sure.
Just because I think her talent would be interesting to like spar against.
Yeah. I will say that in your forming of this training session, you walk around the West Wing at some point where all the martial classes seem to gather, and you kind of see her in passing, like on a different part of the courtyard, and you approach her as she's like, helping someone with their homework, and they're talking about it, and that person leaves, and you approach, and she's just like, "Oh, hey, what was your name again?"
I'm Rosaris. And you're Echo, right?
Yeah, that's what people know me as. So she's
Oh.
sitting there looking at you. She's got like this just above the shoulder length, sort of dyed blue hair and heterochromia, where her eyes are two different colors. So she crosses her arms and looks at you, and she's like, "What's up? What can I do for you?"
Real quick, over the table, am I approaching her on Wednesday or like
I would
Sunday
say this is
before?
like Tuesday, the day
Tuesday,
before.
okay. I was just wondering, I know you helped us in our first challenge, and I was trying to get my party together, and I think Torrada assigned us another upperclassman to help us kind of go through our struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And your ability seems pretty cool and strong, so I was wondering if you would be able, if you were free tomorrow after classes to help us train together.
Yeah, I don't see why not. It might win me some brownie points with the professors if I help some first years train. Maybe I can use it as credit for an assignment or something. Yeah, I'll help.
Okay.
Do you know who this other upperclassman is?
I don't. Over the table. I wasn't told, right? I was
Nope.
just. He just told me an upperclassman. Someone who would be good at, I guess, uniting fractured party members.
You see her like rack her brain and sort of shake it off. She's like, I don't know. Yeah. You said tomorrow?
Yeah,
After
and
class.
if you have another party member who would also like to try to get extra credit out of this. 2 upperclassmen's probably enough to take on party of us, but if you want another one.
I'll see if I can find anybody, but it'll.
Of course, you can bring in an extra party member on your own with your ability. So
Exactly. I'll see if anyone's interested. A lot of us are pretty busy. Being a third year kind of takes most of your time up. But if anyone's free, I'll invite them. If not, I'll show up tomorrow after class. We'll go a couple rounds and then I'll go about my business.
Yeah. To pay you back, I can clean your armor and patch it up for you if you'd like.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen Taz's armor. But
yeah, I was gonna ask. Are you the one that Taz was talking about? He was trying to
Yeah.
help recruit people for you.
Yeah. To pay you back for helping us out, I'd love to do that for you.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good to me. I think my swords could use a good sharpening. I don't have a lot of time anymore, so yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I gotta get to class. And she like pats you on the shoulder and walks out.
All right. Thank you. Good luck.
She gives a wave and she heads out. The days pass by. It's a flurry of classes and homework and training, studying. Leo, you get that lunch date with Hildegard, and you guys said you were going to sit alone, right?
Yes.
We don't need to sit here and roleplay and flirt with each other all that much,
You
but
don't want to?
I will let
Yeah, you
you
can.
tell me. Oh, trust me, I want
Rosari's
to,
would.
but then we'd be here
Guys, let's all
all
start
night.
flirting. Come on, we need to be 5-hour flirt.
She gets
session.
lost in your
cake.
eyes. Those big. What color are your eyes?
I'm pretty sure they're brown.
Those big brown eyes. No, I'll let you tell me sort of how Leo goes about the date, and then you could also just give me I'm gonna call it a persuasion check with advantage,
Riz check.
and then we will
check.
just kind of piece this together and talk about how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Leo is just gonna ask her like what she's into, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah. You said
Or-
persuasion.
Yeah, give me a persuasion check with advantage, just to
In the
kind of see like
background.
your riz.
In the background, you just see Rosari's trying to run away from Lucilda as she's chasing him.
You see Lucilda like
17.
dragging Rosari's by the collar across the room behind Leo.
I rolled a 17.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, what do you guys talk about? It goes pretty well. You guys kind of hit it off. There's some awkwardness between the two of you because you're both like, do I initiate a question or do I wait? Like, what does Leo bring up? What does he talk about?
I don't know. I don't know actually. I guess that he's really into reading history, or I don't know. That's all I got.
Sure, you bring up history and Hildegard like kind of goes like, oh, I mean, what do you like to read about? Tell me some stuff. And I'm assuming most of what Leo would know would be like history of the Church of Corteus, maybe, and in that area, like in Western Timera, where you're from. So you
Yeah.
just kind of throw some tidbits out there, and you keep it from being a ranty, long-winded history lesson. But she is super interested in that. She's like, "Oh, that's really cool." I'm gonna let you decide how much you ask her, like about herself. Like, how much would you like to get to know her on this first date? Are you just keeping it like, "Oh, we're hanging out and having a good time talking," or is it like "Let me ask you questions about where you're from, your family"?
Yeah, I think that since it's the first date, I don't think Leo is gonna come on too terribly hard. You know what I mean? So maybe, I guess, ask a little bit about herself, and then just like stuff they like to do for fun, stories over like things that have happened with their friends and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah. I'll just give you a rundown really quick, and then we'll move on from this.
Sure.
First thing she tells you, like, oh, again, I'm from Mountain Pass out in the Eventide area. I have an older sister and a younger brother named Mary and Jared. She has some really nice, loving human parents, and came to Loomis because she kind of like had this natural druid ability that Eventide couldn't really do well to facilitate, so she came to school here. And beyond that, she has like a kind of interesting party. She has this guy named Charles who is super edgy and standoffish and doesn't really like people, but she thinks that she's like cracked him and that he likes her finally, like they're friends. There is a cleric named Marnik who is super uppity and thinks he's better than everyone. There's a sort of goofy airhead sorcerer named Elegnos that really is like the least perceptive person you've ever met. And then a kid named Elmer who is like completely silent, like he never talks to them. And she's like, yeah, my party is really interesting because all of them are like super not as friendly and social as me, but I think we make it work. And I think I've met most of your party. They're interesting.
They're great, all of them.
Yeah.
I think that we're finally, I guess, want to say, getting chemistry within the party itself. It took a little while, but we're making it.
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, class is about to start. I will not try to pin you into a corner now, but I will say that if you would like to eat lunch together tomorrow, I will be here again. I'll try to get this exact table, and if you want to show up and eat together, that'd be great.
Sure, definitely.
Cool.
I'll be here.
She gives you a big friendly smile and then goes to like take her food out and go to class.
Nice.
From there, let's transition over. Again, a flurry of classes and homework. Gwen, Professor Rance tells you that she doesn't have an update on any research on this, like the subclass you were talking about, but she is looking into it. She's asking around, seeing if anyone else has any information on it, but like Dragonborn Rangers aren't super common, so it's kind of tough. Athira, you meet with the Wild Shape group, and even though you're like the youngest person there and the first year of the group, Kelrin instructs you like, oh, hey, in time you'll start learning how to transform into things other than just normal animals. She demonstrates that she has learned how to transform into an owlbear. It's not completely consistent, but it's something that she's like been studying and trying to get, and it works sometimes. Half the time, it works every time.
It's consistently inconsistent.
Exactly. And with that, I mean, Marcel, you got some like homework that you have to spend a bunch of time on, writing papers for to launch and practicing.
Okay, you're cutting off on me. Is that?
Am I cutting off for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just talk a little bit louder.
Yeah, you're like Marcel.
Okay. Yeah.
In the room.
I think you need to
by
have
yourself.
like your mic to face more of your like actual mouth forward instead of.
Fuck this
Your
right
face.
now.
Okay. Marcel,
Why'd you just kiss your microphone?
don't worry about it. I thought
Yeah,
it was Leo. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
What?
Okay, Dan.
I was still in the Hildegard mindset. I'm sorry.
Next session in person. Next session in person is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, all of us just grab our mics and be as very close as possible.
But as I was saying before my mic betrayed me, Marcel, you have some like papers that you have to write for Professor to launch and some like practical homework from Professor Malik. But other than that, you guys go about your week like normal until Wednesday rolls around, where you are all gathered up in this training hall for this sparring session. Whoever would like to show up first, I am assuming that you would be sort of alone, so you kind of show up and start to gather in. What does the arrival order looks like? Like, who's itching to get there first versus who kind of strolls in on their own leisure?
Marcel will run first.
I'm like there bright and early in like, my most polished leather armor.
All of us are gonna be there.
Polished.
Okay, can we roll to see who gets there first? Can we do an initiative check?
Are you sure?
I mean, in reality, that's where my classes are. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
saying
say.
One of my classes here too. Don't be
Actually,
all
yeah, Marcel also has one-handed fighting.
So me and him are just here already.
Here's
The
what I'm gonna
rest
say.
of you take second.
As you guys get there, you're all there. We're waiting on one person in specific. Echo shows up, and as you guys are sitting there getting ready, Lucilda comes in. Beatrice tells you like, "Hey, Rosaris, I appreciate the offer. We can train later tonight. I have to get some homework done because if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna have time to do it. So you guys have fun. I don't want to intrude on like party stuff. Yada yada. Have fun." So you have the six of you, Echo and Lucilda, all together. After about 10 minutes or so of you guys waiting and Echo being like, "So who are we waiting on? Who is this upperclassman that's showing up?" Zaki, will you describe how John Luke enters the room?
Forward, engage.
You hear a slight trumpet sound. You don't know where. From.
Rosaris, we're being invaded.
And at the long end of the hallway, the double doors fly open. And it's almost like a wind gust out of nowhere, flowing through, and the wind blows his hair in the back, and he goes,
You cut out
"Where are
so
the poor
hard.
Jews?" Well, I had to. It was
It was thunderous.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I can't hear him.
Bro just blew his mic out.
Yeah, he blew his mic.
I think he actually did.
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
he
he
did.
did.
No, he did not.
We can't hear you.
Oh
You're gonna have to reset your mic.
no.
That's crazy.
You
God,
ha-ha'd a little too
legendary
close to the
moment.
sun right there.
That is so funny.
All right, John Luke dies. Next NPC.
He just combusts.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my
shouted
God.
too loud.
Wow.
He says haha, and then he straight up explodes.
He says haha and sits on a banana peel.
That was it. Holy shit.
Echo, do you know him? He just said haha and hasn't done a thing.
Yeah,
He's
we're gonna
standing
say
there just
John literally walks in, says haha, and then stands there, and Echo just goes, "Yeah, I've seen him around campus quite a bit. He, I don't even think I need to describe him. I think you're gonna get as much as you need about him."
He's the guy that lost in the bear fight, right, Ethereum?
I think so.
Wow, that's him?
Echo turns to
Yeah.
you guys, and she just says, "Did he fight a bear again this year?"
Again?
Wait, so he's a druid?
No.
No. He's a.
Oh.
I thought it would be like a paladin.
I'm pretty sure he's a
so I thought
paladin.
It was a paladin.
Yeah, he's a paladin.
Yeah, he was not in. Yeah, he was not in bear form fighting a bear. He was that silent dude over there. Just
Mhm. He did that last year.
Yeah, man, he's such a silent person. I didn't expect that. You know?
he has such a boisterous personality coming in. I think he's a
Yeah,
little shy.
I know, that's so
Yeah, I
crazy.
think
Normally he's so loud.
maybe he strained his voice. You know, sometimes that happens.
Maybe. So I'm gonna say John Luke is literally standing there, like hands on his hips. His cape is flowing for no reason,
He's
and
like trying to grip his throat.
yeah, he's. You can see him like he's thinking really hard, and he's just like,
eyes like going different
"How?"
directions.
Zachy, you might have to use your headset mic. I'm not gonna lie.
It says he's muted right now. I don't know.
Did he mute himself?
Says he's
Did you
deafened
deafen
in
Discord.
yourself?
Yeah, it's being deafened.
Undeafen yourself, homie.
You don't want to hear.
Yeah, we still can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear
Damn.
you. Yep.
That's
this is-
tough.
Oh man.
Man, don't you love
Bro's
being a
gotta go on
charismatic
his
character
phone.
and you can't talk?
This is so sad. You know what?
It is,
Hey, you can't plan this. You can never plan this.
If I would have planned for this, this would have worked because as a DM, we all know that everything you plan will fail.
Oh,
Can you join Discord with his phone?
Yeah, you might have to do
Use his
that.
phone
Just
mic.
join Discord on your phone and leave your video up to
Yeah.
the computer. That's so tough.
Wow, that's funny.
oh, dude.
Dude.
Legend. I love it.
I mean,
Gotta figure out
dedication to
what
the
spell that
character,
is.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know,
no, he
for our
just
Twitch audience,
destroyed-
you guys get to see us struggle and go crazy
Okay,
here.
can you do sign language?
Yeah.
Sign the whole time.
Just type out everything and have it
Right.
display across your video.
Wait,
Oh, man.
speak for us.
Yeah,
I
just
wanna
have the notes app up on your phone, type it out, and just show the camera.
It's like a silent movie.
Yeah. They
dude.
grab like a
Ow,
flash card and stuff.
bang.
That's
Attack.
so wild.
Oh man. Either way, I'll establish this. While John Luke enters, Echo has that conversation with you guys, and then
you hear me
Lasilda.
now?
We can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear any of y'all.
Oh
all right.
shit.
You might have to
Wait.
straight up like act like you're on a phone call.
All right.
Can you hear us though?
Oh yeah, I can hear you fine. Just hanging out here.
All right, cool. This is
You
what
look
we're
so
doing.
happy.
All right,
Dude, he
whenever
has
I
a
edit
cool
this,
magic item with him.
this
That's amazing.
is
That's so great.
I'm directing everything in the
Yeah.
background.
No, okay.
Why do
We need
I
a-
low-key feel like his phone mic is better than the mic he's just using?
because he
Right.
blew that one out with
Yeah.
one
Probably
haw.
because I've screamed into it a little too much.
Okay.
Apparently.
We need the edited version where we cut this out, but we also need the unedited version where it's
Right.
like you can.
I honestly
clip.
just
I
want
love
the
it.
past 5 minutes as a clip.
Yeah.
I just want that.
You know what? Whenever I
Alright.
post this to YouTube, I will leave this part in just because. Why not?
So great.
But anyway, John Luke enters. He yells "haha" and his cape blows in the fake wind that's not flowing in here, but the cape still flows regardless.
It
Continue.
blows into his face, and yeah, yeah, that's what the last few minutes were. He was trying to get his cape out of his face. Anyways, he's like,
Rosaris,
okay.
you know that the cape is on his face? How long is it going to have it on it?
It's a really long cape. It's made of silk, maybe, so maybe it's like he can't get a grip on it.
Maybe it's
Is it
just
made
a
of silk?
special kind of reveal.
He finally gets the cape off and he looks at Marcel immediately. He says, you're not poor. I see your silk shirt.
Are you
Well,
calling
'cause I
me
like
poor?
silk. He looks at Gwen. Gwen's not poor. She has a lot of personality.
I don't know. She was
Marcel
hounding me for
people.
2 gold. Yeah, she was hounding me
That's
for
true.
2 gold
I'm just-
yesterday.
Professor Tortuga explicitly told me that you were all poor orphans.
What?
Oh, that's me. Yeah, that's me.
So there's at least one orphan, and
Adira,
one
are
of
you
you is
orphan?
at least poor, correct?
What?
No comment.
No comment. Got it. So
It's
therefore, it is true. Anyways,
I'm an orphan.
is anyone of
Oh,
royalty
you're an
here
orphan?
besides me?
Leo.
I am.
Leo, you're
I am
royalty, right?
royalty here.
I'm definitely not royalty.
I most definitely am, though, am I not?
Are you poor
Yeah.
or royal?
Does it count if my mum called me
Can
a
he be a
princess
poor royal?
growing up?
Is there
I mean, I guess so. I haven't been everywhere in the world.
Kieran, you're a poor royal. We all agree. Unanimous
No.
decision? Unanimous decision. Deal. Okay, so we got a poor royal, an orphan, guy with silk, looks at Leo. What can we say about Leo, John?
upper mid class.
Upper mid class. Rosaris, and you're kind of cool. I see middle class.
Okay, names again?
Oh, I'm Marcel.
Marcel. Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you.
All right, who's the lizard one?
Looks at Leo.
Oh, me. I am Leogren.
Leo. I have a half-orc friend as well. His name's Zerathon, a ranger. You may want to meet up with him. Mhm.
Sounds good. Let me know.
I will. I will. He's a good fellow. Anyways, next, the red hair.
Looks at Gwen.
What?
Gwen.
I know. It's just like...
Wait, so who's answering the question now?
Who is speaking? I'm not gathering.
I don't
any
have
information.
red hair.
Yes, I agree. You're a
Or
lizard.
any hair.
Yeah.
If
Thanks
you
for
had
pointing
hair,
that out.
I'd be very concerned. Anyways, I'll just make up names. The elf druid lady, you're Arthur.
No, no.
No.
That's not my name.
Well, what is it then?
It's Athera.
That sounds the same as Arthur, to be honest.
He has a point.
All right. I see a paladin. What are you doing, buddy?
My name's Rosaris.
You wear that helmet everywhere?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Ass.
He's very attached to it.
How do you deal with the helmet hair?
If you don't take the helmet off, there's no helmet hair to be seen.
He's bald.
Bald.
Yeah, I've seen him without his helmet. No hair. Like me.
I personally have not worn a helmet since my mother made me when I was a lad. Something about skull not completely formed. Not sure about that. I'm no geologist.
That honestly explains so much.
Oh.
Anyways, I'm here to point you upwards.
Oh, so you're not going to
Marcel
ask
looks
for
up.
my name?
So, that way.
Okay.
Is that all? Anyone wish
Because
to
I'm an orphan, you don't want to know my name. I see how it
Thank you,
is.
John, for teaching me.
Oh, orphan lizard lady.
That's
Yeah.
your name, Gwen?
No. I'm Gwendiel Tonitrum of Keenma, and I expect you to call me by my full name.
Get on.
All right, Stefani.
You can just call me Gwen.
Okay, Stefani.
Okay. What's your name?
All right.
I forgot.
Oh, that's okay. I'll say it a lot. Prince John Luke III.
Prince Macaroni. Okay.
I like that. I may go by that.
All
Okay,
right.
Prince Macaroni.
Yes,
You point us
it has
up.
quite the charm.
At this point, Ella's gonna step forward, or Echo, I should say, her nickname, and
Ella,
she's gonna
Ella,
say,
Ella.
"Okay, listen, we were here to train. Can we get started with this? Are we done with
Oh.
the introductions? Yeah. Hi, my name's Echo.
Echo,
Echo.
Thank you."
you're welcome.
And Lucilda also steps up and she says, "Yeah, I'm ready to get this started. It looks like the upperclassmen are a little outnumbered here, so that wouldn't be fair. So I'll join their
Well, I mean,
team."
you guys are strong, right?
No, Lucilda, you can't just go after me. That's not fair.
Oh, don't worry, Rosaris. I'm not going after you.
Oh,
Echo,
Leo, right.
John, I'll be on y'all's group today. That only seems fair. They're a party. They're working on team dynamics. It'll be us 3 versus them 6. She walks up and Ella sort of like gives her a fist bump and a little bit of a smirk, seeing the, I guess, kind of suppressed rage from Lucilda. And she joins them as Ella begins to like pull out 2 short swords and testing them out. And she looks to you guys and says, "All right, everybody ready?"
One moment. I'm gonna walk over to Lee and I'm gonna say, run. And then I'll turn him back around. We're ready, I guess.
And with
Leah just
that,
stands there.
I actually hate to do this, but it is past 10:30. I did not realize that we had been going for so long. Unless you guys really want to go with this training, we can pick up here next week.
Yeah,
I
let's
do
do
have
next
to
week.
go in half an hour, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll buy a new mic.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, so
You'll free procession.
we will leave off right there with Ella, John, and Lucilda all preparing their weapons as the 6 of you stand looking at these 2 much stronger upperclassmen and a very, quietly angry Lucilda. And we'll start next week with rolling initiative.